There we go.
Here we go. Hello, everybody.
Turn me on. Turn me on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Am I turned on?
You tell us.
Never ask me that again. Hi, everyone. How's it going? Jeff's taking a break. Got me and
Jeff
Sean.
is very sick.
Sure. I did just finish watching the first episode of Richard, so maybe. That should be so
good. So you're dad now? Congrats.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay, what's this show called? Game as the Size? That's crazy.
Allegedly, yeah.
Okay.
Mike, you're quiet compared to Sean and Christian.
I am quiet. Okay, I know why. I'll fix it.
Fix that shit, goddammit.
It's this.
Am I too loud, child? Let me know.
Oh wait, no. I'm surprised it was actually fine. 1 second. I should raise my gain a smidge. Actually, yeah, because I had to. Okay,
I might be the lightest one. Yeah,
it's gonna be good. Mike and I check. Sean, what Dragon Ball Z character would you most like to be your roommate? Unisex, please.
Man, not Goku because he would eat everything, right?
Yes.
I feel like Krillin would be big chill, you know?
Yeah.
Like Krillin would just be the kind of guy you want to hang out with. He would always want to play video games with you and just like sit on the couch. I feel like he would be a nice guy who would like say, "Hey, I was out shopping. I saw this thing. I thought you would like it." And he picks it up for you, you know? Good roommate.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Although
he's a cop though.
Yeah, he's a cop now.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
He's a cop. Guys.
Well, I couldn't say Bulma.
No, couldn't. How's that, everybody? Audio level's good. Is that yummy? Am I low or loud still? What do you all think? Sean is louder than me. That's weird. It's not looking like that to me. All right.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. Sean, why do you want Bulma to be your roommate?
Fun things.
Science stuff. What's your favorite? What was your favorite Bulma look amongst all the eras?
Mike, I'll be honest. We're really stretching here. I know very little about Dragon Ball.
Damn it! I thought you were obviously gonna say her Namek look. Okay.
Her Namek look. Oh my god.
Yes.
I was always more of a Videl guy, anyways.
I lowered Sean a bit. Is that better, everybody? We're gonna sound well, they ruined Videl after.
Yeah, they took away her pigtails.
Well, no, I like.
And then they made her a weird housewife.
Yeah, I don't mind the pigtails, and it was the next phase after that. All right, I think we're good then. Let me know. Actually, I get the podcast rundown.
Yeah, make everything I need.
Yes, not Bombcast Run a Show. God, it's so confusing because this doc is still just called like podcast rundown back when there was just one podcast that Jeff and I ever worried about.
The only podcast you would ever do.
That's right. That was it. And then
my TV just turned blue. Weird.
Do we have just like a thread on Discord to read for the mailbag thing?
No, I'll get the entries in here in a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna.
I can do that while you're doing your thing.
Okay. All right, I'm going to get us going then. You guys won't hear the music. They will.
No.
Hey, Mike.
Give me.
Yeah. Can you link me to the Google Doc? Because it's now impossible for me to find on this new computer.
Just put it in our chat.
I'll link it to you.
Oh, you got it?
Thank you.
Was there something you needed to say to me, Christian?
Give me a countdown when you do the music.
Oh, 5, 4, 3. Quiet 2 and 1s. All right. I'm going to get it,
Sean?
Yep, you get the doc, Sean?
Where'd you put it?
On this chat.
I see it. I see it. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Chat. There we go.
There we go. 5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of games, so you have to think for yourself. I am your host, Mike Minotti, and with me is...
Sean didn't get a graphics card this morning, McDowell.
Today's episode is Tony Hawk back. Pokemon news soon, and Jeff's not here. He's sick.
Quote unquote. Totally not watching hockey.
Yeah, right. How convenient. Oh, the message is he sent us every other excuse why he couldn't be here except for that giant hockey game. No, hey, if you listen to his content earlier today, he does not sound great. So hope you feel.
Yeah. Jeff is not feeling good. He's been feeling bad all week, so we gave him the night off tonight.
Wonder how that hockey game of his is going. Maybe I'll look at the score real quick. But first, Sean, how you doing?
I just want a 5070 Ti, Mike. I want it real bad.
Hey.
I got the whole new computer built, and I just need to upgrade the graphics card right now. And,
yeah,
there's people out there in the world with 4090s and 5080s, but some of us can't be that lucky.
Hey, look, I don't have my 5080 yet. I think it's still in purgatory. It has not been sent out at this point. Like,
you got pre-built, so at least at some point you will get one, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, I'm very excited. Like, people are like, don't get a pre-built, it's expensive. Like, I get it, but boy, am I just excited that this thing's just gonna come in a box, and I'm just gonna, basically plug it in, and then I'll be ready.
It's also not much more than I'm spending. Like, you spent a premium of like $400 for someone to put it together for you. That's not insane.
It's not that bad. So yeah, I am excited for it. I mean, even Avowed on medium settings right now chugs, and I don't know if there's just an optimization problem with that game. As much as I'm enjoying it, there's just a bit of chugging sometimes. Like when I'm in the like cities, it gets worse and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh god, I realize
we need to teach you about resolution scaling, and like what DLSS settings to pick and everything, because after we were talking about a game the other night where you were having issues with it, and I realized that we didn't tell you about you need to set DLSS to this mode in order for your games to run at a specific resolution. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
I set it to ultra performance just a little bit ago. I think it maybe helped a little bit. I don't know.
Okay, that'll definitely help things. Yeah, but maybe it is just time to get a new card.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like eventually this is just going to fix itself, and I will be much happier. Anyways, why don't we tell everybody what we do here? Give us a good... That doesn't seem like the right order of operations. Oh, he says that on Game S Mornings. Tell everybody what we do here. I'm just going to say this other list of bullet points that Jeff usually says. Give us a good rating wherever you're listening. Hit that like button on YouTube, please. If you want to ask a question, you can drop a super chat during the show. Thank you to Carlos Ayin and Sane the Rain Music for use of our theme songs. Thanks to Up vs. CPU for our artwork. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods. Thanks to Christian for producing. You want to get more of us, you can support us at patreon.com/GameS. Gives you access to the Discord server, participation in Q&A sessions, game club, early episodes of Columbros, and other fun little activities. Get all of our shows ad-free. You can also become a supporter by becoming a YouTube member or a subscriber on Jeff or I's Twitch accounts, twitch.tv/Tokodos, twitch.tv/JeffGrubb. All right, Sean, let's get into this here. The big thing, at least for me this week, is we kind of slowly started coming to the realization that a new Tony Hawk game is actually going to, for realsies, be coming out probably soon. This all started with first this, a skater, Tyshawn Jones, mentioning an interview oh yeah, I'm going to be in a new Tony Hawk. This skater was already in 1+2. So that was confusing. And then basically this kind of got a lot of other insiders saying, hey, yeah, this is happening, including one, Jeff Grubb, who did just say, yeah, this is happening, and it is Tony Hawk 3+4. Now, if there's ever any doubt, Sean, today in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, there is just a teaser image that has been inserted in some maps with what's clearly the silhouette of a skateboarder with the date March 4th, 2025, and then the Tony Hawk account even replied to a tweet of it with the shifty eyes. This is happening.
I don't think we need it. I think if we were going to get a remake, Mike, I think it should be Final Fantasy IX. That would be much more important, much higher quality. Everyone knows you can only have one good thing. You can't like multiple things or let other people have things. So, if anyone doesn't know, I'm doing a bit here, by the way. Obviously, I love both Tony Hawk and Final Fantasy, and I think y'all are weird. I really hope that this is just 3 and 4 because I have little faith in them doing anything else right now, and that seems to be what all signs are pointing towards if we're looking at that quote and everything, right?
Yeah, like Jeff straight up said it's 3 and 4. He seems pretty sure of that. And, it's logical. 3 and 4 are very beloved games. Now, Tony Hawk's Underground, especially Tony Hawk's Underground 1, is also very beloved, and I bet people will be excited for that remake at some point also. But hey, let's do this first. But this is exciting because there was a time where it just seemed like this wasn't going to happen because this was Vicarious Visions who did 1+2 back when Activision was owned by itself, and then Vicarious Visions, despite the incredible sales success of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2, just got turned into a part of Blizzard to help them with
they're in the Call of Duty
projects.
mines.
Well, forever. They got thrown in the Call of Duty mines, and then they just became part of Blizzard to a point where they can't become not a part of Blizzard anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I posited on Tuesday when this was still kind of, rumory, like, oh, I guess technically it's not official yet, but come on. I was like, okay, maybe Toys for Bob is making it. Did you witness Jeff nodding politely when I suggested, oh, maybe it's Toys for Bob? And then the next day on Game Mess Mornings, he was talking to Lucy, and then Lucy's like, maybe it's Toys for Bob. And you would have thought that somebody had just told Jeff the meaning of life. He was so impressed by this suggestion.
Yeah, I thought it was such a good idea they had never heard before, and yeah.
Oh my God.
It was a great moment.
Yeah, so maybe it's Toys for Bob. Maybe it's somebody else. We'll see. But it's somebody. And boy, I almost called you Jeff. Oh, Sean, I am very excited. I like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater a lot, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 specifically is my favorite one. I absolutely love it.
Really?
Yes, it's number 1 for me. So many good levels.
Interesting.
Well, because I ultimately prefer the run-based kind of gameplay, right? And
I do too, yeah.
Yeah, and I just, that this was the one that had a lot of the mechanics. Now, they added those back in the 1+2 remake, sure. But I also like the levels in this one a ton. Foundry is great. The suburbs, the cruise ship, Canada, just a ton of really fun levels in this one. And of course, like another very, very, very good soundtrack. And then
Alcatraz was 4, right?
I think Alcatraz was 4. 4 I'm excited for because I know I like 4, but it's been a bit since I played it, and I'm sure I'm going to also have a great time with that.
I have a lot more nostalgia for 4, but I think 3 is the better game.
Mm-hmm. So, gosh, this is I'm just very excited now. On March, March 4th, this day that is being teased. I wonder if this is just an announcement. Do you think this is a shadow drop? Like, are we gonna be playing this thing in like, a couple weeks? That's like 2 weeks away.
But the way they're talking about it, it could be even like a they really promote Game Pass with it. I could see them going that route. Or I don't know, because what do you think the vibes are with the people right now surrounding Tony Hawk? Do you think this is going to be a big deal for a lot of people? Because I feel like this is more of a niche thing for those of us who were there back in the day.
They said 1+2 was the best-selling Tony Hawk game ever, right? So when that happened, not that long ago, a bit ago now, like 4 years ago was that remake? It was still a bit after the prime of it, and it still just sold very, very, very well. I think that there are a lot of people who still carry that torch. There's not really anything that has ever come around to pick that slack off. There's a lot of games, especially indie games, that try to be modern Tony Hawks, and they're usually fun, but never comes quite close. I think it'll do well. I don't think it needs to be like, some tiny little thing that needs to get buried. Now, maybe they can still get away with a shadow drop. I know I'm usually sometimes against it. But gosh, I have to admit, part of me's like, no, that's a great idea because I want it sooner. I just want to play this.
Right. And well, I guess I brought it up, like, the idea of a new one. Do you think this is just a standalone thing that they're just putting out on its own, or do you think it would be a sign of anything more to come?
I think they'll do Thug for sure.
Okay.
It
That make a lot of sense. There's more licensing issues there, but it would also make a lot of sense for them to do
especially
that.
with Thug 2, which had a lot of Jackass stuff in it. That was like
Right.
right, and I'm like specifically like the TV show Jackass, not just it was inspired by, but also like practically a
Yeah.
Jackass game.
Not just stupid people doing stupid things. No,
Right.
like the IP.
Right. So, that might be a little bit of a pain, but they'll probably figure it out. Or, I bet even if they had to just do Thug 1 as a remake, that'd be fine. That's the one most people prefer anyways. But I bet they'll figure out how to do. Then after that, it's like, okay, yeah, we're not going to, remake American Wasteland. Then we got to either figure something else new for Tony Hawk, or maybe it takes another hiatus again. I'm not sure. But I always wanted it to get at least this far, Sean. Again, 3 is my favorite, so it was always a bummer to me that maybe this wasn't going to happen, and it seemed like it wasn't. And here it is, so it's good news.
Right, and a lot of people assumed it would be like DLC or something, or So seeing it at all, I think, is going to make a lot of people really happy, including all of us here.
Speaking of making people happy, a Pokemon Presents has been confirmed for this month. It's going to happen.
Everyone's surprised, Mike. It always gets me when like some of the more mainstream media or games media is like, oh my god, a Pokemon Presents. Who could have seen this coming? It's like they do one every year in this month on this day. But sorry, anyways.
Is it always specifically on the 27th of February?
Yeah, because it's Pokemon Day. Who
There's
would
a whole
thunk it?
Pokemon Day.
See, Mike's one of them.
That's crazy. They have their own day. That's wild.
It's just the anniversary of the first game's release.
Oh.
But yeah, for the past like several years now, there's just always been a I want to say maybe it's been like a decade even at this point that they just do on Pokemon Day.
So yeah, this is a week today that this is going to happen. Now this is kind of exciting just because we actually don't know about a lot with Pokemon right now. Like the one upcoming game is Pokemon Legends Zaw, and they have not really said very much about that. So I think we all would love to see some clarification for that. Maybe some ideas of like how Switch 1 or Switch 2 the thing is. I think they said it is coming out for Switch 1. I think we all expect, and given the state of the last few Pokemon games on Switch, are desperately hoping for a Switch 2 version, at least. But they're going to, along with announcing some smaller things like they always do, and like some new anime projects and merch collaborations, or some new mobile game, whatever. It seems like something else is going to be announced, like a Black and White remake, maybe, or maybe another Let's Go with the Johto region. What are you kind of hoping for at this thing?
Some of it's easy to telegraph because of other things we know about the Pokemon IP right now. Me and Jeff talked about this on Game S Mornings a while back, but refresher in case anyone missed that. The Pokemon TCG is doing a dedicated Black and White set in the vein of the 151 set they did, 2 years ago at this point? 151, of course, all about the original 151 Pokemon. Why would they do that? Well, because the first 151 always sells. But outside of that, they don't really do like specific sets for specific games unless it's tied into a new release. So why are we getting a set that's only Black and White? And specifically, it's all of the Black and White Pokemon. It's like 151, but it's 157 or whatever it is. It's just those Pokemon. Why would they be doing that, especially if it has nothing to do with the card game right now? Some of us are thinking maybe like this summer or something, we get Black and White remakes, because that's when the set is coming out in like July. And then ZA is like the fall game. It would also make sense for Nintendo if that were the case, because then they could have a big sales push at the end of the year for ZA. I think if we don't get Black and White remake this year, I don't know if it's happening at this point, Mike.
Right.
It seems like the stars are aligning on this one.
Because the timing makes sense. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the Gen 4 remakes that came out November 2021. So it just seems like it is now time to do Gen 5. Now, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl sold very well, of course, but those remakes weren't loved by the Pokemon community, right?
No, and it's because I didn't look too much into this because I didn't want to see too much in the Terra leak from Pokemon. But it sounds like there were initially other plans for that game that got changed at the last minute. And so that's why we ended up with a fairly bare bones, seemingly rushed game, because maybe it was rushed out the door a little bit. And yeah, the rumbling is that like maybe Game Freak wasn't happy with the way that turned out. So I think if we do get a black and white remake, it would be a little more what the fans want than BDSP were.
Yeah, I loved Black and White. That's the last generation that I really, really, really enjoyed with Pokemon. Not that it's been all bad since then. I've still enjoyed games after that. Black and White was fantastic. Now, part of it is because it was the last of the pixel games, and they got that pixel art looking really good, and there's the animations. Yeah. There's a part of me that's like, oh man, it's going to be rough if we go from kind of the prettiest Pokemon game to, something that's as ugly as the Pokemon games can kind of be sometimes.
Especially nowadays, yes. Even if, there are things that I like about Scarlet and Violet, no one can deny those games are butt ugly.
Right.
Like, even beyond the way they run, like, they just look visually very poor. And so, hopefully it would be, a minimum Sword and Shield graphics. But yeah, I think something more in the vein of what they did with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire on the 3DS, just scaled up to the Switch. Look, if we're not going to get HD 2D, because that's what everyone wants, and that's basically what Black and White already were, that would be a next best thing, I think.
God, it would be the one to do it for, right? So there's part of me that just wishes they would, but it's hard
They never will.
Yeah, it's hard to see them embracing this, though, at least for the overalls, right? I get it with the battles. That's going to just be those models that they invested in and they use for everything, sure.
Yeah.
But, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Maybe this is happening. Maybe it's not. I know a lot of people, myself included, would also be happy to see Let's Go Johto, Let's Go Togepi, or whatever.
That would be cool. Yeah, the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were very good games. I do like those a lot. But yeah, I think in general from this presentation, expect a huge update on ZA because we don't know anything about it. It's set to come out this year. Maybe the remakes show up. Outside of that, keep your expectations in check because the Pokemon Day Presents is always little tidbits from every little bit of the franchise. So we're going to see stuff about TCG Pocket. We're going to see stuff about Unite. We're going to see stuff about all different mobile games. Maybe something about the anime. It's going to be a little bit of everything. So not, especially our audience, maybe not necessarily what you want to see, but that's exactly what's going to be in this presentation. I can guarantee it.
Yep. Yeah, I bet it'll be enough to get us excited about something or another. Okay, so the next order of business here is some kind of developments on that ex-Bungie director and creepy texts to female employees have been released because he was was let go from Bungie and then he sued them. This is Christopher Barrett, right? Sued him like, how this is wrongful firing. So now Sony sort of clapped back, like, yeah, well, no, we fired for a very distinct reason, and it's because this guy is a weird creep. Like, in some of these messages that are revealed, Barrett asked the female employee, are you still in PJs? And is it like a button-down top and bottom sweatpants, Lululemons? Another one.
Literal, what are you wearing text. It's very gross.
One of them, I'm not hitting on you. I hope it doesn't feel like that. I'm married, but I can be honest. You are the 0.000001. It better be treated like it forever. Just a ton of inappropriate flirting. Lots of that to subordinates and things like that. It's just really, really weird and creepy stuff. His legal team is saying that these texts are being misrepresented without context, right? I can't imagine what the context would be unless everybody right before it's like, hey, could you just pretend to be the worst person ever for the next text message as a funny joke? Otherwise, this is incredibly damning, and shame on him doesn't quite cover it. Holy shit.
Yeah, the only possible context that would be okay is consent,
Yeah.
But if that's not there, it's not okay. Christ. Oh, my word.
Yeah, so that's absolutely disgusting. And yeah, hopefully this guy doesn't get a single cent of everything he's trying to get from Sony. I would be shocked, right? Because this seems like a pretty rough state. But God, it's so delusional. If he knows he sent these texts out, like, what did he think was going to happen, right? If he didn't sue them, we probably wouldn't have found out about this. We always knew that this guy was kind of a douchebag. We've heard a lot of stories about him, but damn, holy shit! What?
Yeah, that's the sign of someone who doesn't understand what they've done is wrong. Is the self-own by making it public. Like, dude, you could just like been a scumbag and it would have flown under the radar, but nope, now it's been publicized. Now we all know what a shithead you are. So, oh man.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens to that. One last thing here. Jeff did leave me with a message for all of you when he couldn't be here. So we got one little juicy Grubb nugget for you. Because Jeff said, tell them I said that some of those God of War rumors, like the remasters, will probably happen closer to the 20th anniversary. God of War 1 did come out in 2005. Let me do a quick little search here. When did the first God of War video game come out? Yeah, 2005, specifically
5, yeah.
March 22nd. So about a month. So gosh, I kind of like even forgot that this game is turning 20. That is a big deal. That's anniversary is just a month away. They are absolutely going to want to have something to announce there. Maybe too soon to talk about what the next big AAA God of War game is, but maybe not. Cory Balrog's team's been working on a separate project for a while, and maybe that project was always going to be whatever the next God of War is anyways. We don't know. But if not that, yeah, I think maybe a God of War trilogy remastering is a pretty good possibility. Did you have any affinity for these original God of War games, Sean?
Not really, just because of the style of them. I always thought Kratos was a bit of a scumbag.
Oh yeah, he sucks.
I think especially through a modern lens, I don't think anyone is super fond of old Kratos. I know some people are, but maybe for different reasons. I was always more into like Devil May Cry and stuff, even if I in the long run, probably like the gameplay of God of War a bit better. But I also didn't have a PS2 growing up. I had a GameCube. It was a little bit later when I was like in high school. I went back and bought a PS2 and got caught up on some stuff. So yeah, not huge affinity for God of War specifically, but I do. Man, I'm curious to see where the series goes next in general. I have not played Ragnarok. I don't know how it ends. I don't know if there is more of that formula to be had.
Yeah. Without spoilers, we're probably not doing Norse anymore. We're done with that, if nothing else. It seems to be the case. So
I know they were like teasing Egypt in the first one or something like that. So I don't know if they would do something like that. But yeah, and I think maybe some people would prefer a return to the action and everything. But yeah, those original God of War games, I think there's an audience for them. I would not be surprised to see them. Yeah, bring back a remaster. I didn't know there was rumblings of a remaster of any kind, so this is news to me as well.
Yeah, they could go like really all out because it's not just those 3 games. There were also 3 prequel games, 2 that were for PSP, and then Ascension on the PS3.
Oh, right, the PSP ones.
I liked those PSP ones. I never played Ascension, but I bet it's fine. So I mean, if it was like a 6-game pack, that would be pretty cool. And I did enjoy those games. I also thought like. Especially me, I'm like, this Kratos is kind of a mean jerk, but the games were fun. Gosh, even early on, I enjoyed the puzzles. People forget how puzzle heavy the first God of War is, and I think some people didn't like that aspect of it, and they went a bit more straight action after that. But those games were always very pretty.
Of the time, because DMC had the same issue Ninja Gaiden did, where they started puzzly and then moved into straight action, right?
Right. No, exactly. But like, for PS2 games, late PS2 games, those things were so impressive. I mean, I remember the first God of War just kind of causing waves. It was a very big deal at the time, and obviously, it just kind of has never lost that momentum. It almost did after Ascension, and then it just sort of came right back, and it's still a very big deal. So, yeah. It'll be fun. There will be some, again, you know me, when I say I think things have aged poorly, I don't ever mean gameplay. I just kind of mean tonal stuff about God of War that is going to maybe seem a little bit weird now, but whatever. Sex minigames, But I'll be happy to check it out. And yeah, something around that anniversary, that makes a ton of sense. Boy, everybody in chat loved it when I talked about Grubb nuggets. They all seem to be big fans of that. So we'll read those super chats and other ones in a little bit here. But first, we are going to take a little break.
All right, breakaroo.
All right, I can just go right back to it. Are you? Do you want to read the super chat, Sean?
Read the
Oh yeah, I can.
Okay.
I was also gonna say Christian brought it up. I don't know you saw it. Were we gonna talk about the Marvel rival stuff at all?
I think we already did on
No,
Tuesday. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
did you?
we did it
Okay.
Tuesday. Yeah,
I think
You
so.
did. Okay, got it. Then okay, we're
I
covered.
think so.
Cool.
I think so. But whatever.
Because it came up in a
We're way
super. It
past
came
that.
up in a super chat, so we talked about.
It came
a lot.
out in a super chat. You
Okay.
are 100%
Gotcha.
correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
I should jump back into it.
All right, we're back. Sean, would you please read the super chats?
Absolutely. First up, Simon from Saskatchewan. A Samurai Pizza Cats game. Good trailer. Thoughts? I haven't watched this yet. Mike, have you?
No, I never watched Samurai Pizza Cats. There were so many of these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle inspired shows, and I loved the turtles, but never quite cared about any. The one I was the most aware of was Sewer Sharks. There was something about Sewer Sharks that was mildly interesting, but even then, I only ever saw a little bit of that. You know, we'll see. Is this like another game that's basically just like Shredder's Revenge? I don't know.
I have no idea. Again, I just saw this news in passing today. I haven't seen the trailer yet.
I maybe take a look. It's like, some of these, there've been it's funny because like, all these franchises that were originally knockoffs of TMNT. Now we have that new game that was popular. Now we have all these games that are kind of copying that whole thing too.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm looking at this game.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah,
animation.
I'm looking at the trailer right now.
Yeah, it looks more like I don't know what to call it. It's definitely not a Shredder's Revenge knockoff. It looks like a
No, it
run
looks-
and gun.
Well, yeah, I guess you could describe as that. Probably mixed with beat 'em up. It looks like maybe one of the cats is one of the cats has a sword, one has a gun. Okay.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
may they just all alternate between them.
There's wall
The
jumping.
art style looks like the show, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool. So it looks Cuphead-ish, I would
Yeah, I
say.
was about to say Cuphead. Okay, just looking at the trailer, this looks more interesting than I was expecting. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Neat.
This looks kind of neat. Yeah, and then I just saw the girl cat like do a super move and it cuts to basically just like looking like something from the show. It goes 4x3 and everything. Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's all this hand-drawn animation. Okay, I'm suddenly intrigued. Thanks for the shout.
All
Simon.
right, nice. Yeah, absolutely. Next up, another one from Simon. My big question last week still stands. Where's Jeff's Blightning game? Why are they so bad at picking for you? It's not your fault you forget to save. They should know better. All-timer stream. Good work.
Right. Look, the game's too long, okay? So maybe we mess up there. But Jeff's not helping himself at all. Not picking up health upgrades, forgetting to save and deleting all of his progress. Like, look, what can we do? We tried. Everyone said the game was 3 hours long. We're like, perfect. It's not our fault that everyone else lied. What can we do?
You know what, Mike? I'll be brave enough to say it. I think Jeff Grubb might be bad at video games.
Hey, he won the hole off. He's pretty good at a lot of video games.
Yeah, he held left click real hard or whatever you guys did on that stream. Yeah.
I should defend Jeff, but I'm mad at him for the for the Toys for Bob thing and for all of the Final Fantasy hatred. So yeah, I'll just agree with you. Sure, he's bad at everything.
That's right. That's exactly what I said. Next up, another one from Simon. Thank you. Dan's Ewok take is too far. Hobbits being like Ewoks only shows Lord of the Rings is great because Ewoks fucking rule. Maybe Bacalar has converted him. We all know he hates Ewoks because they helped take down the Empire. It's good. That's good, Simon.
Yeah, I always like I like Ewoks too. I always thought they were fun.
I stepped out while y'all were talking about this on the Bombcast. What was this? I missed this hot take from Dan.
Dan was trying to be like, all right, Mike, I know why Lord of the Rings is bad. I'll explain it to you. Lord of the Rings is like if Star Wars starred the Ewoks. And I was like, Dad, the only thing those two really have in common is that they're short.
Yeah.
But it's what Dan's real point is, and he said Chad will correct me, is that he doesn't care about normal people, right? He only wants super extraordinary people to be the stars of his media, which
because he likes 80s action movies, so
right.
that checks out.
Yeah, a lot of it is inspired by Rocky and Terminator.
Yeah, he wants a million John McClanes. I get it.
I like that stuff too. I also love when ordinary people are thrust into extraordinary circumstances and there's a more maybe sincere and stunning kind of heroism that is then on display. Is how I would put it. So yeah, it is funny because Rocky is also a normal person. Now they turn Rocky into a superhero by Rocky for sure.
Well, yeah, that's the hero's journey in full effect right there. He eventually becomes an unstoppable force.
Yeah. I'm tired of defending good media from these guys. If they don't want Lord of the Rings, they don't want Final Fantasy, that's their problem. They're missing out. All right? So, wait, Wheat Demon says Avowed has air dashes. Is this true? Like, by default? Wheat Demon, can I be
all
dashing?
I know is that Lord of the Rings fucking sucks. And next up, another one from from Saskatchewan. Final Fantasy is better than Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but not by that much. No Final Fantasy is worse than Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
That's true.
If Dan or Jeff disagree, they can play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 for their next Blight Club game.
Oh, I've thought about maybe giving Jeff Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 before, but that was like an all-online game. I think there are ways to play it now.
Wait,
but
was it?
Yeah, that was one of the problems with it, was that it was an online required game. That's one of the reasons why it was really stupid. So I don't know how you play it today. There's something to do. What Final Fantasy game is worse than Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5?
Maybe ones I won't name, because maybe they will have relevance in the future.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Okay, let's move on to one from a lot of super chats, by the way. Thank you, everybody. One from Big Fresh 37. Dan's Lord of the Rings problem is a lack of superpowers, so he must love movies about superheroes, right?
Yeah, he only sees MCU movies, right? It's kind of narrow and short-sighted of him. But yeah, he only cares about... He talks about the Easter eggs constantly. That's what he's really craving, is superheroes and Easter eggs.
Fan theory videos on YouTube. He loves watching those constantly. He loves it when people explain movies to him. Oh god, so sick.
He loves post-credit sequences. He says it's not really a movie if there's not a post-credit sequence.
That's right.
Wait, what's happening?
Wait, do we have someone on the line? Caller? Hello?
I am on a lot of drugs right now, and I am not supposed to be talking much. And they told me not to get into fights on podcasts. I had surgery today, but I can't sanction this buffoonery.
Okay, Tommy Lee Jones.
All right. I like a good hero's journey. I'm always talking about hero's journeys. The problem is with Ewoks. I like Ewoks. I defend Ewoks. I'm happy when the Ewoks are on screen, and I've never understood the hatred for Ewoks, but they're not the whole point of the trilogy. Like, the Hobbits are the main characters.
That's true.
Like, if the Hobbits had as much screen time as Ewoks, and maybe like the Viggo Mortensen guy had Luke Skywalker time and it was focused on him, maybe I'd like it.
Okay.
Dan, have you considered, though, that Bilbo Baggins is just Luke Skywalker?
Isn't Bilbo the old one?
Yeah, but like in The Hobbit, Frodo Baggins. Frodo Baggins is Luke Skywalker.
Too.
I don't like this nerd shit. I don't like this nerd shit either, Dan. I'm just trying to like be the voice of reason here.
Oh, okay, wait. Sean's cool. Okay, cool. Okay, I like that. Yeah. So, Mike, I'm not anti-Ewok. I want to make that clear.
Okay. All right. You know what? That was unfair of me to assume, and I apologize. And I hope you feel better, Dan.
Thank you. I'm playing the thing remastered in bed. Thank you.
Well, okay, you go. God, he's a punishment fiend. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Look at all these Blight Club people just being out of it. I'm the only healthy one here somehow.
Blight Club is killing everybody. That's the connecting thread.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next up, another one from Big Fresh 37. Been about 2.5 years since Choo Choo Rocket Universe was pulled from Apple Arcade with no ports elsewhere. The world is cruel. What do you know about Choo Choo Rocket Universe, Mike?
Well, I did play because it was one of the first Apple Arcade games, so it was there on day one, back when I actually was checking all that stuff out. It was good. And also, I think Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps was like a voice in it. So there was that.
Why not?
Yeah. That's wild. They have, like, why not just make a Switch version of that game? It seemed like a pretty good version of Choo Choo Rocket. Of course, that was a mobile game and it had, all those trappings and some of that monetization and whatnot. But there's got to be some way you could just turn that into a $10 product you could sell on Switch.
And that is the Switch, right? I think you said Twitch.
Did I say Twitch? Excuse me.
You might have said Twitch. I don't know. I'm on a lot of drugs right now too. My big problem with Apple Arcade is when stuff is locked to it. And I'm happy that more stuff is getting off of there, like Fantasian getting a Neo Dimension. Sure, it's a $50 game, I think it launched at. But just the fact that it's getting a port at all to regular systems is a good thing. Things being exclusive to a subscription is bad. That's why Game Pass rules, because like Game Pass, you still have the option to buy the game. It's just an alternative way to play it. Apple Arcade, I don't like that, or like Google Play Pass or whatever they call theirs. I don't like stuff being exclusive to that. Same with like Sonic Dream Team. There's like a Sonic Colors like that is just only on Apple devices.
Right.
And that kind of
That
kind of sucks. I played on the train. When I went to Evo, I played on the train down to Chicago, and I was having a pretty good time. But I was also thinking, man, I wish I was playing this on my Steam Deck or something.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully they get more of that stuff out of those services and just regular releases, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Sega's bringing back all these franchises anyways. Why not Choo Choo Rocket? I mean, at the very least, just use what you have there to make a new Choo Choo Rocket. Choo Choo Rocket is fun. Now, I'm really a Sega swirl freak. That's what I would really like to see come back. So hit me up with that. Or you know what? I'll say columns. Give me some columns again. Where's columns? Oh, yeah,
because columns, too, hasn't been on enough platforms, right?
I need more columns, too. You got it. You get it.
I get it. Okay, next up here, Mickey Harden has been a Lincoln member for 0 months before this. Brand new one. So thank you for becoming a YouTube member.
Appreciate it.
Next up, Allie Miracle. My vacuum just broke. Can you two nerds recommend me one? Also, did you try the Fatal Fury beta yet? Love, penis.
Man, I bought one vacuum when I first got my own place, and it was like the one that was on clearance at Sears, because I think it was when Sears were closing forever. So I got one at a good price then, and I cannot tell you the name or the brand of it. I don't have recommendations. It might even be time to get a new one. I don't know. Do you have any hot vacuum recs, Sean?
I'm trying to find on Amazon the one that I bought. I just bought like a $30 stick vacuum like 5 years ago, and it's still working because I have a pretty small apartment. I don't, you know what? I'll look at it during the break or something for you, Allie, and maybe I'll let you know later. But yeah, just what the cheapo ones are good enough nowadays. Yeah. I think that doesn't really matter. So
is Hoover still in the game? Is Hoover still around?
Is Hoover still a going concern? I have no idea.
What's Hoover up to these days? All right. Okay.
What about them? They're Dirt Devils. They still got those around?
Oh, I hope so. That was a good name for a vacuum. Yeah, Dirt Devil. Like, hell yeah.
I saw an infomercial for the Duck the other day. I think the Duck has taken over Dirt Devil.
Man,
it's cuter, but...
Infomercials were wild. I was at a bar the other weekend, and they were like, it was only 10. It was already just an infomercial because I think real TV has just gotten that sad. And it was just for it's still the same shit. It was for collectible coins, right? Like special U.S. silver dollars. It's just that same shit.
Oh yeah,
selling them to poor old people who don't
diversify your portfolio with real gold.
Right.
That sucks.
Yep.
I found it, Allie. It's the Eureka Blaze stick vacuum. It's $30 on Amazon. I like that one.
All right.
But yeah, Fatal Fury. Have you had a chance to try it out yet, Mike?
No, I've been installing it, so I definitely want to try it. If not very soon, sometimes. I've been watching videos. I watch Justin Wong's. I'm in the middle of a Maximilian Dude's video on it. I am excited. How about you?
Just mad that we're talking about vacuums.
Yeah, because Jeff never has random non sequiturs about like weird domestic shit.
People paid us money to talk about these vacuums, Jeff. I'll talk about it at the end of the show because I have put a little bit of time into it, and I want to talk about what I think about it. So we'll get to that at the end.
All right, something forward to.
Next is from L. Grug. Surprised Jeff said every Final Fantasy game is better than any Mud Runner game, and Dan said Pro Skater 5 is better than every Metal Gear. That was surprising when they did that totally real thing.
It is wild, right? That they just say these things, and I guess who am I to disagree? Final Fantasy is pretty good.
Yeah, you think it's the drugs? Are they all just like
no?
out
I
their
think
minds
these are their very lucid thoughts at all times.
This is the real shit.
Yeah, this is what they believe in their hearts.
Okay, that checks out. From Adam Steen, Jeff isn't actually sick. You just need an excuse to watch the Four Nations final without distractions of some dorky podcast.
I was totally prepared for I was even going to give him permission. Like, look, you can keep an eye on this game. I know this one's important for you, but it's fine.
I allow you.
right. So, look, I don't think he actually didn't come here because of the game, but I'm just saying the game wasn't on. He might have tried to do it. He might have tried to do the show anyways. That's all I'm saying, and it's fine that he does it. Oh gosh, Chris Pratt's bringing up something that we haven't really talked about yet. What's this one?
Chris Pratt says, this K-Box AI stuff sounds incredible. Imagine using AI for infinite games where you're stomping hoopas. So many possibilities. No more pesky arcade.
Thank you, Chris Pratt. So we didn't talk about Microsoft's Muse AI, which is just their new machine learning thing. It's interesting how they present this, right? They're like, oh, it's for the ideation phase, right? So people can kind of quickly make prototypes for ideas. And I think that's them trying to sell it to developers. And then they're like, and it's going to be great for great game preservation and making ports of old games, which I think is something they only pulled out of their ass to try to keep old people like me from being upset at it, as we so often are with AI. Yeah. And I'm not falling for it, John. They
used a word we like to offset the words that we don't like we're 5-year-olds, you know?
Right, exactly. Look, this AI stuff, it's all coming for us, I suppose. I still don't really get it, especially, I think...
I do. I tell you anything you need to know.
I mean, I get why it's happening.
Yeah, the problem here is twofold. First of all, generative AI, I'm just putting my foot down. It's theft. It's theft straight up. It just takes other people's art and tries to mimic that art. It's an amalgamation of stuff that's been made before and tries to spit out something new, but doesn't have the soul of a human, so it can't actually produce anything that I would call art. Before you say, well, it's all just public stuff. They can just trade it like a human would. Artists put their stuff out there knowing that humans will be inspired by it. It's not, they never intend for a machine to be able to internalize that and try to spit out an imitation. So that's why so many artists are against generative AI in any form, because none of these models are ethically trained. Now, beyond that, we did not talk about the Marvel rival stuff because you guys talked about Nintendogs. I missed that, I think. But the short version of that is, it's pretty clear that executives do not care about people. They do not care about results even. They care about bottom lines. And cutting people so that AI can do the job instead is a very real thing that's happening. And I hate that I see people defending it and stuff, like in certain comment sections on certain morning shows. That's not okay. That's unacceptable. Pay a human being to do this stuff and quit buying, your 5th Mercedes that year or whatever. It's all kinds of messed up from top to bottom. And all this AI stuff is bad. Now, the other half of the AI thing, the whole game preservation stuff, it's wild that they would even use that argument, because what is the AI going to do? Is it going to create an approximation of the game logic simply by looking at a gameplay?
Because, there's so many intricacies, and when people work very, very hard at this, sometimes these remasters don't quite feel right anyways. And the one big example we had of AI, and I know it was a little bit ago, was the work that it did on the Grand Theft Auto trilogy remasters, and those fucking sucked. They looked terrible.
Yeah.
Gosh, I think Jeff said it on Game Us Mornings today, right? But, they're positioning so much as this is going to have people come up with ideas for games. It's that's the one thing that's easy, right? Coming up with ideas isn't a problem, right? Everybody has 10 ideas for a video game. That's not the hard part. What the hell are you talking about?
Right. Yeah, one of our friends in the industry was posting about on Blue Sky of it is absolutely wild to think that we would ever want to give tools to people to say, oh, you want to make a game and you have all the ideas to make a game. You want to make so many games. But you don't actually want the soul of a game, which is the people behind it. You just want to like a game to exist magically. Like what? It makes no logic. It makes no logical sense. It's God.
So sorry, Chris Pratt. We know you're excited, but we think this might be a bad thing. So
Yeah, I feel bad for Chris Pratt, the
Chris
Pokemon fan. Do you think he realized that he name dropped a Pokemon there with Hoopa? That's a real Pokemon,
that
Mike.
is a Pokemon. How about that?
Hoopa is
How
a
does it
Pokemon.
look? How does it look like?
It's this little like gremlin dude. He has he's based on like a genie in a bottle, so he has these like giant portals that summon legendary Pokemon.
They just creep in the bottom of the bar with that one, huh?
Yeah, they sure are sometimes. Okay, anyways, moving on. Mikey O'Leary, can we please never say Grubb Nugget ever again? Well, you got one more out of me, but I mean, you paid us, so.
Okay, we'll never mention Grubb Nuggets again. What's the next super chat?
From Dirachi, I want more Grubb Nuggets.
All right, you're gonna get all the Grubb Nuggets you all want ever.
We're easy, huh? With money. They just tell us what
Oh
to do.
yeah, we'll do anything for money, man.
Absolutely.
Connell Wood, can we please add Grubb Nugget to the soundboard? You got it. We'll work right on that. It takes very little for me to add something to the soundboard. And then I think last one for now, California.
California. Like
California.
the Beach
I was
Boys
thinking
say?
about that, but oh Christ. When did Mike get so young and cool and Jeff so Italian?
I am Jeff Grubb, and I love pasta more than any other food.
Hi, I'm Mike Minotti and Pog Slamma City Jamma Jamma.
That's me. Fantastic. All right, thank you so much, Sean. Everyone, if you want to send in more super chats, we will read them before the end of the show. Thank you all so much for the support. Next, we actually had people in the community saying, hey, you guys do mailbags for Nintendogs, but it's been a while since there was one on Game Us Decides. So let's do that. We're going to do one of those right after this break.
Break.
Okay, I'll read those. I got them up. Okay. Look at that. That's right. We never did this Name That Concord thing. Someday we'll do
Oh, yeah. Someday it's going to happen.
Yeah,
One day that we have absolutely nothing, and that's going to save our ass.
Yeah.
I believe.
They will get absolutely zero of these. Wait, you need to actually just put the name on the character?
Well, I think the fun thing is to see what we come up with, what the bad guess is.
Yeah.
It's like my mom.
I know it more, goddammit.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep. Should be.
All right, we're back. We've got a mailbag from our podcast producers, so let's get to it. Steen AR says, you've been tasked with adding 2 power-ups to the next Sonic game. What 2 power-ups would you add?
Sonic racing game. Critical. So
okay,
Crossworlds.
sorry, excuse me. Sonic racing game. My bad. Yes. You know me, I want to add non-Sonic specific power-ups. I want to add some shit from other Sega games in there. But like,
let's add like the dog from Shadow Dancer.
Oh,
in there
that's
just like
got it in one. Hell yeah. God, Shadow Dancer is so freaking good. Oh, I love Shadow Dancer. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm trying to think of ones that's not just summon a character from a thing, right? Like Gunstar Heroes. Maybe you get one of those random weapons, and if you get a second one, they combine like in that game. But that sounds complicated. That's kind of a lot going on there. How about just a Burning Rangers power-up that just starts playing music from Burning Rangers? I would like that.
Ooh, perfect. Yeah, that's always a power-up. That gets me excited.
Okay. Jamie H1224 says, currently playing through Okami for the first time, and while I knew it was a beloved game, my expectations were beyond exceeded. Are there any fan favorites, cult classics that you played in the last couple of years that had you feeling the same? Yeah, I think I talked about a bit, like, I always heard good things about SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom and how it's a better game than you'd expect. Then I played through it. My still, even though I was expecting that, my main takeaway was, wow, that was a lot better than I was expecting, right? It was still just a really good time.
I'm trying. I know there must have been one that I played recently, but I remember. Parasite Eve. I played for the first time on Christmas.
Oh, I've been wanting to play Parasite Eve pretty badly. I have a copy I've got, and like that gets brought up all the time as a game that holds up incredibly well. Even from the sickos who always say things don't hold up, people like Parasite Eve a lot still. It looks so interesting.
Yeah, that's one of the games that made me want to get a retro tank for original hardware, is because I played it in Retro Arc with a CRT shader, a very advanced one. And it looked fantastic. It wasn't quite there because I couldn't get the shader quite the way I wanted it. But if I get the Retro Tank's extremely accurate CRT shader, or, once we get our PS1 mystery things, I could hook up to CRT back there and get the real deal. But yeah, Parasite Eve is interesting how it's Resident Evil-ish mixed with a turn-based RPG, sort of. Everything's in real time, but the way it all works out is it's a very interesting game. And I think it's jank. It's a little awkward, but in a very interesting way. I liked playing through that.
I wonder if you're going to play 2, because that one is more just straight up survival horror. And I understand it's still good, but it lacks a little bit of maybe that uniqueness from the first one. Is what I usually hear.
I'll check it out at some point. May Christmas is here.
Inuface says, y'all ever think about doing a separate game mess panel at a gaming convention? I know I'd drive for it. It would be fun. It's just, we usually are so busy with just the Giant Palm responsibilities at the PAX is. So if we went so we'd have to go to a different convention, which may be like a MagFest or something. I don't know. But it's always hard for Jeff to get away already, just for kind of the things he really needs to. It'd be hard to maybe try to add more on his plate there. There's that Cleveland Gaming Classic. I don't even they kind of do panels, but I don't know how many people want to come up just to Cleveland for something like that. I would love to, but yeah, it's just timing. I'm not even going to be at PAX East this year, so that's already one of the main
right, because they moved the timing of that. Yeah,
the timing. I'm going to be in Disney World, so screw you while you're on your own.
Maybe. I don't know if I'm going to be there.
Yeah. Next one's from Dugan. Do you ever consider how you want to sequence your games? I do this for the platforms I have. For example, I want to play Avowed after beating Indie on Game Pass. On my Mio Mini, I want to beat Donkey Kong before playing Chrono Trigger. Am I a broken person? How many iterations are too many? I hear you. I mean, in general, I do usually like to try to finish my games before I beat them. Sometimes I will just sort of skip games because I kind of I'm not sure how interested I am, or the reviews aren't that good. I did that with Mario Luigi Brothership, right? Because I knew that I really wanted to play Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, and those games were coming out at the same time. And I was just like, well, instead of trying to play both of these and kind of getting my attention divided, I think I'm good at Mario Luigi. I'm just going to play Dragon Quest.
Yeah, the platform thing lost me for a second, but now that I get what they're saying, yeah, I definitely. I actually keep a literal list. I have it on my phone right now. I'm looking at it of the order in which I want to play my. If people remember, I don't keep a backlog like a strict one anymore. It's just a list of games I'm interested in playing. I don't hold myself to a backlog anymore. I'm just like, hey, what am I in the mood for? And I just jot it down so I don't forget. But yeah, after beating Shadow Generations, I fired up Sonic Frontiers for the first time. I would like to get through that, but I, got a little burned out on it because there is kind of a lot of same stuff. So I moved on to Ease 10, and Ease 10 is really doing it for me. And so I have these other games down my immediate list of 6 or so. And yeah, I want to beat both of those before I get to the other ones. So yeah, I definitely try to prioritize which games I'm playing.
Always Be Clothing says, since Jeff is out watching hockey, Mike, tell me how your Ridge Racer, Mega Man Legends investigation is going.
Yeah, Mike, how's that going for me, huh?
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but GOG has kind of a poll up, what are people's dream games to add on there, and Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 are options. I'm not sure how well they're doing. I haven't checked in. I'm a little confused with that, because is GOG really able just to put games that never had PC ports on its store?
Well, what GOG does, if you didn't know, actually, is that they themselves do some of the dev work to get old versions of games running on new systems. And I think they've dabbled a little bit with getting games that weren't didn't traditionally have PC versions on PC now. I don't know how much of that they've done themselves. I think more it's partnerships with places like Night Dive and stuff like that. But actually, Mega Man Legends did have a PC version back in the day. 2 did not, but I think 2 did not.
Mega Man Legends 1 did, had a PC version. Okay, that's interesting. I had no idea.
I think it may have actually not been released in the US. I think it may have been like Asian English, one of those things, like Resident Evil back in the day and stuff. But yeah, they did it.
Okay.
Like visual novels, they had like only like Oceania, like they are in English because they release on like Australia and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Beefhammer brings up in chat. Yeah, the recent Metal Gear Solid ports and the Resident Evil stuff. That was like GOG first because they like worked with the publisher to make that happen.
Okay. Neat. Yeah. So, and I think there's some other things on there, like maybe even Parasite Eve or whatnot. So, yeah, I'm glad they're doing that. I still bet that Capcom will just do their own Mega Man Legends collection, perhaps at some point here. And I mean, if that's the case, they might even like tell GOG no, even if they a poll wins and they're asked to do it, right? So
yeah, like they don't have authority to make any of these decisions. It's just a matter of what people want, and they're polling people to see where the interest lies.
Bayleaf Moon says, I've been loving the fungal world of Avowed. In 6 months, Xbox will release Indiana, Avowed, Self-Admitted, and Doom. I think the sort of output will slowly become more normal. Yeah, it does feel like things have kind of picked up a little bit finally for them. Perhaps a little too late in terms of at least the Xbox Series X, but maybe soon enough to keep Xbox chugging along. I've been pretty happy anyways. I liked Indiana Jones a lot. I'm liking Avowed a lot. I'm interested in South of Midnight. I bet Doom is going to be great. So part of me is like, I'm sure we're still going to have some quiet times ahead, right? PlayStation's been sort of suffering for a little bit right now.
Yeah, I think maybe this is just how they do things where they pick the quiet times of the year and they just maybe don't have anything there. And then during the busier times of the year where people want to do a lot of gaming is where they, try to target a variety of releases. So maybe it is this like spring is where they put out some titles and then fall is where they put out some titles and just, in between. There's not much rather than the one first party game a quarter that they tried to commit to or whatever, or like plan on. So yeah, I think we're finally starting to see the fruits of Xbox buying up all those studios. We're finally starting to see those games come out. And so that's, the release cadence we're going to finally be getting to is seeing all those finally come out. I'm excited.
Firehair says, Jango Fett was one of the guest characters in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Who would be a good replacement? It has to be a character with a jetpack for their special. P.S. Thanks for all the joy you guys bring. God, I want to say Rocketeer, but that's just another Disney character. I bet that a lot of those get replaced by Xbox Studios characters, right?
So, they could now, yeah, I suppose.
Right.
Put a Spartan in there or something.
Yeah, there had to be a Spartan that had a jetpack, right? One of them as a thing at some point.
They're not cowards. They would just put Sparkster in there.
Oh, God, that'd be amazing. Oh, I would love that. Right. No way that's happening. Yeah. But
chat saying the dude from Dark Void.
The dude from Dark Void. There you
go. 2 people in a row said that exact phrase.
Yeah, right. Look at that. We got twins in the chat there. But no, I bet it is going to be like, Master Chief, maybe like Dom or something from Gears of War. It'll be, we're going to see some Xbox Game Studios characters showing up in there. It's too bad that they got rid of that music game that everybody liked and they sold, and Hi-Fi Rush.
Okay.
I think Hi-Fi Rush guy.
Where you going with that?
Sorry, brain fart. The Hi-Fi Rush guy, they keep him cell shaded. That would have looked cool in a Tony Hawk game, right?
Oh yeah. Chai should definitely be in a Tony Hawk game.
Chai, yeah. Everyone was tea themed. I forgot about that.
More importantly, Peppermint Chorus Cut, but Chai's alright too.
All right. Absurd Ziggy says, "Get well soon, Jeff. Do you guys see Avowed style RPGs being the future for Western RPGs? Got all reviews, but dev time is radically shorter than, say, Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield. Are big companies going to continue in those larger games if returns continue diminishing? Some napkin math. Starfield launched November 6, 2023. 15 million gauge as of November 2024. About 8 years dev time. Avowed February 18th launch. 1.5 million gauge. 2.5 years of dev time. I mean, just from your math there, that almost makes it look like Starfield was still worth the extra development time, maybe. It's hard to say, like, this stuff's not great, but, I bet Valve's going to end up doing just fine, probably. I don't think it's going to be maybe some giant smash hit. I think it's going to have very long legs and be remembered very fondly. Like the big smash hit for Western RPGs right now is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is more of a similar Western-style RPG that is that giant scale again. Now, that didn't take them 8 years to make, right? Probably more like 4, 3. I forget when that first one came out.
Of real dev time, yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't think there's any one thing for Western RPGs. Hey, we're still going to see a wave of Baldur's Gate 3 likes here soon that went into in development like a year ago when that game was a giant hit, right? That's what we're going to end up seeing at a certain point here. So
yeah. And also, by the way, 81 on Metacritic is like very, very good. I think we need more games that don't try to I'm trying to think of hot phrases because people get mad when we say like when they try to be incredible games or anything like that, but when they're trying to do like the prestige TV thing where it's like Oscar baity, where they go for high review scores because of how incredible and immaculately written the story is and everything like that. Now sometimes it's all right for a video game to just be a cool video game, and hey, if some people think it's more in the range of like a 7 or 8, I think that's more sustainable than like putting all of the horsepower we have from these studios into unsustainable things, I suppose.
You're right, but also Avowed's better than 81. Also, Absurd Ziggy says, P.S. Ask Mike if he likes Mickey and Minnie, The Great Circus Mystery, and if there's a game like it to play. Yeah, I like that game. That's basically another Mickey's Magical Quest. Like they made a bunch of those style of Mickey Mouse games. If you like those ones, and you've already played the other Mickey Magical Quest, check out the Mickey Castle of Illusion and Land of Illusion for the Sega Master System. There's a little bit of a vibe there in those games. Those are pretty good. Big Fresh 37 says, sometimes I think discussion around live service games in hardcore gaming circles is disingenuous. A lot of forum posters and podcasters say that they're a bad business move destined to fail. That feels more like what some gamers want to be true rather than what is true. In 2024, we saw the massive success of Palworld, Helldivers 2, Zenless, Rivals, Path of Exile 2, and Infinity Nikki in 1 year. It's not exactly a situation where no one new can enter the space. On the flip side, Veilguards, Outlaws, and Prince of Persia did not sell what they needed to. So is that really such a better hit rate? I don't see it. Guys, I think there's some truth to this, maybe, and some fairness here. I think that it's I don't want to say cherry picking. That's not fair at all. Maybe the bigger point is like Sony is having troubles doing this stuff, or Ubisoft. Now, granted, again, the thing with Sony is like, yeah, they got Helldivers 2, right? And that's one of them, and they made it in. They got one of these be a hit, and it still didn't matter, right? Is the issue because these things are still so expensive to make, and you have to have such a shotgun approach. But, these games, Palworld, that was an interesting hit. Yeah, Helldivers 2, an interesting hit. Zenless, Zone Zero, that was just another Mihoyo verse, so it's not shocking. And it's not as big as the other two, right? Isn't it kind of not... I don't know. You can maybe correct me. Maybe I'm speaking out of my ass here.
It hit bigger than Star Rail,
okay,
but not as big as Genshin.
That's very good.
Which is still very, very good.
That's very good.
And yeah, as I'll chime in here then. I'll pick it up for you. As someone who does play these games and likes quite a few of them. Yeah, I think there is... Try not to use the B word, but there is amongst some, more old school gamers, a concern with these games and how they are presented to the player, because there's definitely some predatory practices in them a lot of the time, and that's a huge turnoff for people. And I get it. I say all the time, it's really easy to ignore a lot of that stuff, and I just do that in all these free-to-play games. Because, I have the ability to just block that stuff out. And I know for some people, they're just like, well, just the fact that's in the game annoys me. I don't want to have to skip menus that have it. I don't have to, you said yourself with, I think it was Star Rail, just the idea that you would have to think about the gotcha stuff in what was otherwise like a traditional turn-based RPG.
It's enough to turn me
was
off.
A bit of a turn off. Yeah, exactly. And I get that. That's fair. Absolutely. But yeah, I think the point you were getting at, just in general with service games, the fact that so many of them are kind of just a big risk for everyone involved, and that like studios, if it's not immediately a hit, you get shut down, your game gets shut down,
or if the game's a hit, one of your
them.
studios gets shut down anyways, like with Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, a team gets laid off, even if you have one of the biggest games in the world. It's very risky in general compared to a traditional release, where at least you can recuperate costs on that. It can have a long tail because you can still sell the game later on. You can still sell physical copies to collectors and everything like that. Something can be done with the game later on. So I think, there's definitely merits to both sides of the argument, and I see what you're trying to say here. But yeah, it's just, I think, that concern about the how precarious a live service game can be.
I got a text from Dan Reichert, and he's screaming at me to read it. Mike, forgot to tell you that the lady that knocked me out before my surgery had Donald and Dixie Duck on her hair bandana thing. Their arms were all stretchy and trippy, so I'm not sure if there's a classic duck cartoon where they do drugs. Well, thank you, Dan. No notes on that. I'm glad that you now understand the popularity of Dixie Duck. Do you think the hands were really trippy, or do you think that was, the drugs that they had him on already that made him look like that?
Yeah, I wonder how lucid Dan was when he saw these articles of clothing.
Chris 2K says Jeff is sick and he can't hurt us. Time to talk about JRPGs now that he can't share any Tony Hawk comparisons.
Yes.
So I recently finished Metaphor Fantasio. Man, that was a good-ass game. I would even go as far as to say that this might be a new JRPG classic. It takes some of the best parts of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. Thank you, Chris literally put in parentheses. Tensei's pronounced like Sensei, Mike, love ya. And adds what is possibly the most satisfying job system in any JRPG to perfect the formula. I just never got tired of the game. Yeah. Oh, as I've sing a lot of praise of the game. So I'll give you one criticism, actually, now. I do like the job system a lot. I don't know if I love the way that at the end of the game, you get funneled into, like, your one kind of master job. And there's only one of that for each of the characters. So, like, at the end of the game, you do just kind of want to do that. So it kind of, the scope of it gets a little small, a little straightforward at that point.
I never changed jobs for anybody because every character excels stat-wise at what they started with. And so while it's cool that you can change everyone, it kind of feels like you kind of just do that because you prefer to have certain characters on your team.
Yeah, but you get permanent stat boosts every time you max out a job for a character and stuff like that.
You do, but that takes time.
I'm such a sicko for that shit. I want to max out as many jobs as I can.
I think it's smart of them to at least make it so that you unlock each character's best class by also ranking them up in other classes. So that way you try other things. But it's also cool that they give you plenty of ways to just bypass the leveling system and you just get items that do that. So that's pretty cool. By the way, the next I noticed. Still from. Okay.
To summarize here, Chris was a big fan of Louis the villain.
Louis, yes.
They put him down the Mount Rushmore JRPG villains. Do you also feel that strongly about Louis? It's Louis, right? Not Louis.
Louis, yeah. Louis.
And would he be on your Mount Rushmore JRPG villains? I liked him. I don't know if I would quite put him on there. I maybe actually like him a little bit less than a lot of people do. I liked him a lot, but there was something about him that was, I don't want to say tropey necessarily.
I think that's fair to say, though, because, his ambitions are, without getting into spoilers, I don't love some of the reasoning behind why he sort of like hates everything. Like, I get it, but it's like, I feel like we've been here before.
I think what really makes the character work is the voice acting performance, right? At least when I played in English, it was very good.
Everything in Metaphor, it's excellent.
So that part was excellent. So I don't know if you could quite make he was a good villain. Especially, we haven't had a lot of strong JRPG villains in a while, so I think that's why he is standing
Especially
out.
Especially Alice, like their villains aren't typically that great, at least on the Persona side of things. I don't play a ton of SMT, but I feel like it's not.
It's usually just like some mean adult for a while, and then eventually like God, right? So it's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think the Mount Rushmore of JRPG villains would have a lot of Final Fantasy on it, like your Sephiroth and your Kafkas and everything, but they deserve the spot. They're excellent.
Ali Miracle says, okay, Mike, how much do I need to pay for you to finish Dawn Trail? You sound like you're on the cusp of the story turn, and where a lot of Final Fantasy IX stuff comes into play, even more down the pipeline coming. I think when mentioned it was a weak expansion, a lot of the sentiment comes from the shit chuds taking up more of the conversation when it was out. This game is going, has me super invested. Take it from me, I am a huge cynic of games, given how long I've been in this industry community as a hobby. You'll not be disappointed. Also, Sean is right. Whatever he said, I'm co-opting him with this. Love, Venus. Look, I want
Thank you for your support, Allie. First of all,
I'm sure. Look, I get that thing about the chuds, but I know like a lot of people who aren't chuds who also just overall didn't love the expansion, perhaps, and I'm sure I'm still going to enjoy it, and I do need to get to it. Part of it is like when I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, it kind of was before I had more bombcast responsibilities and things like that. It is like I want to play more games to talk about in the Bombcast. I can't just get in there and talk about Final Fantasy 14 some more every week, as much as Dan would just love that, right?
He loves it when you do that. He totally remembers when you do it, too, and when I ask him about it.
Yeah, he would be the biggest fan. But no, I do want to get to it, especially because, I haven't been able to do the raids, and those are so fun. Dan Riker in chat says, I would quit my job.
Grubb would too, to be honest. We need him.
But I do want to get to it. I thought I would have done it during the holiday break, but I got busy with other stuff.
I'll take some heat off of you because everyone can yell at me that I still need to finish Endwalker. So you know what? You're fine.
There you go.
You're fine.
That's a good expansion. It's very long.
Yeah, I haven't started because I'm always like one expansion behind. And so I'm done with Shadowbringers. I just never started Endwalker because I just felt burned out. But I'll get to it eventually. I know how good it is.
I think that's part of it too. Look, I was playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 pretty much almost daily for 3 strong years in a row there. I did hit a little bit of a burnout is what it really is. And at some point I'll catch back up.
We love the game, but it's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot. B says, I've been playing the Trails games from the very beginning of the series. More JRPG talk, hell yeah. And I'm finished the 3 Sky games, 0, Azure, and 2 Cold Steel games at over 400 hours in total. Still have 5 games left to play. What's the longest series you've invested in? Man, I love Chosen Sky 1 and 2. And I'm almost just too intimidated by how many other games are in that series to really even start playing more of them. Part of me is like, I just don't know if I can do it at this point. Especially the Skies games still feel self-contained. I bet the other ones are self-contained to a degree, even though there's a larger narrative. But I don't know. It's intimidating. Gosh, it's a good question though, because I play a lot of series. They're not necessarily as super interconnected, like Final Fantasy. So many of them,
right?
Are
separate. I've played at least almost every Final Fantasy. I think the only one I haven't played is 12. Weirdly,
I like 12.
Yeah, but but it also feels weird because again, they're just completely separate things. But same thing with Persona. I've played every Persona since 3, but a lot of times it all just is so disconnected. It doesn't have that through line that you're talking about. But those are the 2 series I would say.
Yakuza would be good for that, right? There's that through line.
Oh, right.
There. In Zelda, Mario, they don't have that through line. The Ace Attorney games kind of do, and I play those. Although yeah. Although I haven't done Investigations 2 yet, since that's finally been localized.
Same.
The games I'm putting 1,000 hours in, again, Final Fantasy 14 is just kind of that with all the expansions and everything, and it is this one story, so that maybe makes sense, actually.
Yeah, I do have over 400 hours easily into 14 alone, so yeah.
Oh gosh, it's days and days and days of playtime. First, Xavenger says, when do you think we will see a new Bloody Roar again, since fighting games are back on the menu? Get well soon, Jeff. I like Bloody Roar fine. I'll be upset if we get a new Bloody Roar before we get a new Soul Calibur and Dead or Alive.
Yeah. Bloody Roar, I'm sorry, it's dead, y'all. It ain't coming back.
That was Hudson who did Bloody Roar.
Yeah, where did it end publishing-wise? Did it end with Konami? I forget.
Bloody Roar 4, let's see, was still Hudson.
And it was self-published by Hudson.
Yeah. Yep, that was the last one in 2003. Gosh. What was the one? I played Primal Fury, I think, on the GameCube. Yeah, it was pretty good. I played for a bit, then I was like, all right, time to play some more Soul Calibur 2 instead, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't think that one's coming back.
No.
Some fighting games, they just don't have life anymore, and I think that would be well, maybe it would be more relevant than ever bringing back that series, but I don't think the sales would be there, unfortunately.
Prickly Pete says, I just started getting to Pokemon for the first time since my 6-year-old son has been collecting cards. I picked up Pokemon Black for the DS. I've been digging it, so I plan on going through the rest of the GBA DS 3DS games next. What game series have you always wanted to play, but never got around to? Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I mean, Yakuza, especially with this pirate one coming up, everybody likes it a lot, so I want to get into that eventually. For sure. I keep Myst. I want to play all these Myst games eventually. So those are two that I'm thinking
Myst
about.
with Mitch, that's right. Yeah.
And I'm getting real, like my love for retro games is getting to new heights where it's finally extending even to games that came out before I was born. I just bought like all the old Ultima games on GOG. You could like get all of them for $3, at least the first 6, right? So I was like, sure, I'll do that. So I might be playing Ultima 1 at some point here soon. Real sicko shit.
Sort of to tie it into a previous question, the Trails games, I have always wanted to get into it, and now we have it's Trails in the Sky First Chapter, it's called, the remake.
Yeah, the remake.
I almost don't know if I want to go that route though, because presumably they would do the rest of them as well, 2 and 3. And do I really want to wait that long if I really like it? So I might even just jump right in when I have the time to. Like, I have a newfound respect for Falcom because I do like Ys 10, and I want to go back and play 8 as well. So who knows?
They'll do 2 at least. 3 is like a weird, like, side bonus content thing.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So who knows? But they'll do like 1 and 2 are basically one game, really. Okay.
I also would like to imagine that Prickly P is listening to us by starting with Pokemon Black. Very good. Very good.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I mean, I tell you what, if you like, what's the very next one you should do? It should probably just be Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Those are next best.
And then, you know what? Emerald and Fire Red Leaf Green, still very excellent if you want to go back to some 16-bit stuff. And I think Sun and Moon, underrated. I like those a lot. I know you have a big problem with the intro there in Sun and Moon.
There's some pacing stuff in general, but they were trying stuff. They were going for it on that one a bit.
Exactly. They tried something different. It was a very chill game, which I appreciate. Yeah. If you're in the mood for chill, tropical vibes, good game.
Villamax says, with SNL 50 passing by, what are some of your favorite Saturday Night Live sketches, moments, or memories?
Sweaty balls.
I remember the sweaty balls. I know what you're talking about.
No. Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls. That's right. The sweaty balls.
Yeah. Everybody loves his sweaty balls.
Gosh, my favorite way, the best way to consume Saturday Night Live was always those best of like DVDs or VHS tapes they sold. So like the best of Chris Farley was incredible. I think my favorite sketch is when they're like, it's like the behind the scenes of filming one of those like commercials, and it was the Colombian coffee crystals, and Chris Farley's like just at a restaurant, and someone's like, sir, do you know that coffee you're drinking isn't real coffee, but Colombian coffee crystals? He's like, oh, what? He's like, it's Colombian coffee crystals. And he gets pissed. He's like, you son of a bitch, you lied to me. He starts throwing shit around and breaking shit. And it's this whole thing. God, yeah, I think about that. I think about his delivery of the word what all the time. Schmidt's Gay, one of the best fake commercials they did. But God, I remember the early days of like Kazaa or even maybe Napster or whatever. You would just download the audio files of Celebrity Jeopardy and just listen to the audio of it, because that shit was so funny. So yeah, definitely. SNL for me is definitely that Adam Sandler era. It was my favorite, and then the Will Ferrell era right after that was still pretty good.
And
for sure.
I think about a Weekend Update. I really loved when I believe both Seth Meyers and Amy Poehler were on there at the same time.
It was Amy Poehler and Tina Fey did it as a duo for a bit.
Well, I know, but like that, that's always like been a thing on SNL. So I'm trying to remember my eras here. I think they were on together, but maybe I'm just thinking.
I think there was overlap there for sure.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, just I always love Weekend Update. I love that sort of dry humor.
I love watching. Go ahead, sorry.
Like the sort of gold, like silver-ish age, the like second gold era in the like what would that be, like mid 2000s, excluding like Jimmy Fallon and all that stuff. But they had some real gold on their hands there. Yeah, really good time.
I will say recently there was like the sketches where like there's just two people who look exactly like Beavis and Butthead, and like they're trying to like, you look just like Beavis and Butthead, and like you expect them to sound like it, and they're just like, what? Oh, I'm not familiar with that character. I don't know why. That was actually some pretty funny shit. So
that was Ryan Gosling.
That's right. It's Ryan Gosling and someone else. That's
naturally.
Hilarious.
Okay.
All right. Next up here is from Uncharted Wolf. Hey, dogs. I've been playing through the classic Mega Man games again and having an amazing time. Question for Mike, but Sean can join if he wants. How would you roughly rank the Mega Man games 1 through 11? 2, who's the best Robot Master, and why is it Dustman? Dustman is pretty good. I like Dustman. I'm a big Snake Man boy. Snake Man has been my favorite Robot Master since I ever had favorite anythings. When I was like 4, you could ask me what my favorite color was and what my favorite Robot Master was. I think I just called them bosses back then. I don't think I knew the phrase Robot Master. Real quick, though, do you have a favorite Robot Master?
Shout outs to Splash Woman. She deserves more respect.
Yeah. Splash Woman ruled.
Broke the mold, broke that glass ceiling. I'm proud of her.
Yeah, we need more female Robot Masters for sure. Okay.
Damn right.
Rough rankings. I'm going to do it real quick. 3 is at the top. Then 2. Then 5, then 9. Then 4. 10. I'm gonna put 11 above 10. 11, 10.
Okay, I thought you would.
Yeah, 11, 10. 6, which I still like 6 a lot. 7, and then 1. Well, I think 1's the worst playing one still.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's all of them. I got them all there. Oh no, I didn't put 8 somewhere. 8 would be above 7, but below 6. So top to bottom, I think they're all good.
Sounds right.
To be clear. 3, 2, 5, 9, 4, 11, 10, 6, 8, 7, 1. Maybe I'll put 11 above 4. No, we'll keep it. We'll keep it.
Wait, 7 second from the bottom then?
I don't like 7 a whole lot. Yeah, I still like it.
I can't really argue with it. Yeah, again, it's still a good game. It's just like, the lesser of the good games.
I think it hurt. Sure. It gets hurt because it's the only SNES classic Mega Man game. It's just like it seems a little stale next to Mega Man X, right? Which is amazing.
And some of the things, like, it may not seem like a huge deal, but stuff like the sprites feeling awkward at that size and everything, yeah.
Yeah, the music's not amazing for a Mega Man game, honestly.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I feel like I like all those games a lot, and 3 is my favorite video game, but 5 isn't respected enough. I love 5. I think 5 is great. So I say this all the time, right? Like if any of those NES Mega Man games were the only Mega Man game on that system, and if it was like Mega Man 4, which never gets that much love, but it was just the one, right? Everybody would be talking about how Mega Man 4 is one of the best games ever. But because it kind of, gets overshadowed a bit, and there's other Mega Man games, it kind of falls off a bit. All right, next up here is a break, actually. Yeah, why don't we take a break? My Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar is empty anyway. So we got more of these to get to. Let's take a quick break, and then we will get to the rest of those. So BRB.
All right.
I'm going to take Penny out real quick and do all that.
Right, Penny, right.
Yeah, the real dog. Totally.
Penny's not real, y'all. Penny's a soundboard. It's all in his head. I don't know how to tell him.
Problematic. It's this guy Rizzy's getting into him.
Rizzy's getting to him. Yeah, it's just a stream deck, Dan. I think we need to have an intervention. Christian, how you doing?
I'm fine. Yeah. Chilling,
Okay.
We were chilling.
Okay, cool.
I was watching that Reacher show earlier today. 3rd season dropped today. So watching the first episode, watched the first episode. Pretty good.
Is that
liking it.
Amazon Prime joint?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty good. It's it hits all the right notes. At least the first episode. I don't know who's gonna keep going. I think there's the first 3 episodes now out, and then they release it in batches. Okay. I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but that's how it worked last time.
Gotcha. All right. Let's jump back to it if we're ready.
Okay. All right. I'll say to the drugged up Dan Reichert, thank you. He says I'm smart and know a lot about games. I appreciate.
What about me?
Yeah, you know.
Has been complaining about me being mean to Jeff. What did I even say? What did I say about him?
I don't know what you said.
I defended him when Sean called him a bad gamer.
No one's ever too mean to Chef Grubb.
That's true. He doesn't get enough shit on the internet. We really need to.
Oh, man. That hockey game's tied in the third period. That sounds exciting. I bet they're all enjoying that. All right.
By the way, Mike, I did just put everything on here, so if you want to cut short at any point, feel free.
Okay. I bet we can maybe get through it.
You might be able to.
Yeah.
Lightning around a few of them.
I'll have to write a newsletter, but this is it. After this is just a few more super chats I'll talk about. I don't know. I don't even have too many games to talk about. Sure, you have some things, so yeah, we could probably finish it.
All right.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's jump back into it then.
And we're back. We've got more mailbag stuff here. Starting with Screaming Madden says, "Hello there, Mike, Jimmy Fallon, ride enthusiast, Minotti, and Turbo. Always appreciate Star Fox Assault support, Sean. With all these teases of a new Tony Hawk game getting announced, I want to ask, what is your pipe dream guest skater you want in this new Tony Hawk?" Okay.
Dave Mira.
Dave Mira would be incredible. Kelly Slater.
There you go.
Yeah.
Isn't Dave Mira the one who also does skateboard?
I mean, anybody who does
the BMX guys actually does.
I bet everybody who's into BMX can skateboard a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right. I want to be like realistic, right?
I didn't know this. I'm finding out from chat that Dave Mira is dead. What? Why did y'all tell me this?
Dave Mira's dead?
When did this happen?
What happened to Dave Mira?
What'd you do to him?
2016.
2016?
9 years. Jeez, that sucks. That's too bad.
I know that.
I gotta go play some Dave Mira games out of respect. Yeah, I like, even though it's like a pipe dream, I want to be realistic and pick somebody I think could actually be in it and not just, say Rocketeer or Mega Man, right? But I don't know. Again, I definitely think it's going to be some kind of Xbox game studio thing. It's going to be Master Chief. What would be more interesting?
All right, I got one for you, Mike.
Okay, let's hear it.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, let's just do Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Remember Sonic Riders?
That's the right answer. City Escape? Come on. Yeah,
that's right. Just put him on the helicopter blade. There you go.
Did you see Sonic 3? The movie?
I haven't seen any of the Sonic movies.
Yeah. It's a slight spoiler.
Mike, I haven't even seen Detective Pikachu. Because that meshing of like the realistic CGI with the human characters, I don't know, something about it just it gives me heebie-jeebis.
Just a slight spoiler for Sonic 3, but I was very pleased that they threw in the this aircraft sucks line. What Sonic says before he jumps off it in City Escape, right?
Yeah.
No inflate movies. Right.
Yeah.
They just said that line like word for word. I'm like, hell yeah. Still so wild seeing an adaptation of Sonic Adventure 2 as a successful movie, man. I'm not gonna get over that.
I'll check those out at some point.
They're fun. I don't think they're amazing, but they're fun. Okay. Let's see here. Next up is from Beef Hammer says, "Evening, Mike. No. Let's all get problematic in 2025, Minotti and Sean. How that's a New Year's resolution if we don't change anything, Grubb. Who in the community has the worst gaming opinion? Is it Jeff saying Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is better than any Final Fantasy game? Is it Uncharted Wolf saying Balan is actually a good game?
Maybe.
Turbo Sean saying Super Metroid is overrated? Is it me saying Super Mario 64 isn't all that good? Side note, I at least admit that I am wrong." It's funny that this one sticks with me, and I don't mean to come out for specific people, but I remember Nick Turbo defending those Mario Party games where you're like all in the car together.
Right. That was a wild one.
And I was just like, no, we can't defend those. No.
Some of the community is younger, and the things that they like drive me up the wall. This is not related to gaming, so I'm not answering the question. But there was a moment in the Discord where everyone was talking about how nostalgic they are for the prequel trilogy, and I was losing my mind, Mike. I was like,
"Oh yeah,
this is the thing we all agreed upon. These all suck. What are you doing?"
Back. It's a combination of nostalgia and like now the sequel trilogy is the enemy for so many people, right? So
damn kids, man.
Yeah, they're rizzing it up, and it doesn't need your rizz, everybody. You can let it go.
There's too much freedom of speech. That's what I'm telling you.
James Pye says, did either of you get around to the episode I Guess DLC for Persona 3 Reload? As a huge fan of the base game, I found it to be a bit of a slog, but still had some cool character moments. Bonus question, what are your hopes for the Persona 4 remake, and will they call it Persona 4 Platinum? I always liked Persona 4 Rerun or Rewatch or something like that. That makes sense because the whole TV thing.
That's clever, Mike. You're clever.
I didn't come up with that. I saw somebody say that on social media. Yeah, I'm an idiot. No, I didn't check an episode. I guess I never ever heard good things about it, even when it was Fez. Right? Everyone seems like it sounds completely missable. I've been fine just reading a synopsis of it on Wikipedia for the most part. So, no, I don't have much of a thirst for. I guess that's a lie. But how about you?
Yeah, you sure about that, Mike? So I'm sure a lot of people know Persona 3 Reload was my game of the year last year. Had a bit of a moment with that one in a couple places. Hell no, I didn't. Because I played Persona 3 Fez back in the day. No episode, I guess, sucks.
It was so funny when people were so mad initially that it wasn't there, right? Like, a lot of people complained exactly. It wasn't there. And then it comes out, everyone's like, yeah, that sucks. It has always sucked. And I was like, man, I would hate to make video games. I would be so mad.
All us Persona 3 fans, we knew. Like, it was just something for them to be mad about. I get it. It meant that we didn't have one, like, definitive Persona 3. But then it gets added, and everyone's like, yeah, it sucks as much as it did back in the day.
Yeah.
I guess there was maybe some hope that they would have made it better, but yeah.
I'm not even Persona 4 Rewind, Cody. I'm never a big fan of these DLC campaigns in general. Even like when they're supposed to be really good. Like I know Xenoblade 2 and 3 have some of these that people like a lot, and I still won't even check those out. It's just not, I don't know, it's just never something I'm all that interested in.
I was about to say, whatever you think about the answer, it should have been. It needed to be with the release, with the Reload when it came out. Like,
yeah, see, we found him. We found the one.
But it came out with the other thing. It's just like,
I know it was weird that they made it DLC.
Then they sell it apart. Yeah, it's like
if it should be a free update. I'll meet you in the middle. It should be a free update. Sure. It's weird that it was paid DLC.
As far as my hopes for the Persona 4 remake, I just want that same level of quality they did with 3. Obviously, smooth out some of the homophobic edges and transphobic edges. Yeah.
Yes, like they did in Persona 3. Yes.
Yeah, that guy has no salvation. Not even remaking that game could save that character.
Yosuke kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, but like, I like that game a lot. And again, when I say things have aged poorly, I'm always talking about that writing stuff, right? Not the game stuff.
Is it wild that Yosuke was gonna be? I'm making sure I don't mix up Yosuke and Yusuke. Is it wild that Yosuke was going to be the first gay romance option, and instead they went the hard opposite direction? And he's a huge bigot instead.
Right.
I'm just this is gonna be, people's gonna get mad, I think, but like Atlus, they don't know how to do that shit. I don't think they know. I don't think they have the chops.
I sure did enjoy Metaphor Fantasia just not having it. Actually, I would like it if they got rid of it. I don't need the weird dating sim aspect of it that then doesn't go anywhere. Because like once you are officially dating a character, then you never talk about your relationship with them again. Because that's the end of it. That's the end of the route.
That's what Metaphor made me realize, because I'm a sucker for romance in video games. I just think it's cool when it's done well and there's a meaningful addition to the game through that. But Metaphor made me realize that I always want Alice to either get better at it or drop it. Maybe it's better if they just don't do it, if they suck at it.
Right.
I never cared that way. Like I didn't knew people cared that way about romance. For me, it was like, oh, if I get this character to the max, I will get like a bonus to this fusion type, and that was it for me. It wasn't like, oh,
nowadays, man.
like, oh, this is my real girlfriend in the video game. Goddammit! I was like, what? That shit was weird.
All right. Next up from Bikes and Brews, Mike, are you going to stream Doom Eternal? Because I need to see how a real gamer plays this game because it is kicking my butt hard. Also, thank you to the Backroom crew for getting stuff on YouTube, like for Jeff's stream, Game Club, and all their side content. You guys are the best. Yes, thank you to both of you. I'm hoping that I can get my new computer before I play Doom Eternal for the Game Club. Is why that is our Game Club game. So I'm holding out. If it's like,
it's so well optimized though, you could totally run on the current rig with like high frame rate and everything.
I'm gonna give it a couple more weeks, and if it looks like I'm not getting this computer anytime soon, then I'll just go for it. I got some other things to stream here. I gotta play The Thing remastered now because of Jeff's punishment. I've done all this Maniac Mansion stuff. I'm like, I may as well do a stream of Day of the Tentacle. I played through that game a million times and always enjoy it. Let's do it on the stream for people to watch who watch the Maniac Mansion stuff. It's Sekiro. Gotta do Sekiro kind of soon here, I think. I'm feeling the urge. I always like to take a little. I don't like to stuff. Yeah, I don't like to go from straight from the one FromSoft game to the other. So I want to have a little buffer after beating Dark Souls 3. But I'm hearing the siren call of the Sekiro Naughty, so I'm going to get to it soon.
Sekiro Naughty, okay.
Yep. Darachi says, Tony Hawk 2.
Ooh.
And you're done. This is don't worry about it. I'm gonna say it, and you don't need to read it.
Darachi said, Christian, now that we acknowledge this joke, you can stop doing it.
Yes, you've been saying it since like forever now, and so that's gone. All right. You're happy.
You got your one. There you go.
John Appleton, this is for you, Sean. Says, apologies if this has been touched on already. I know it's been alluded to, but haven't heard anything definitive. What's up with Video Game Jeopardy / something else replacing it?
I'm cooking. We're just gonna reformat it. The Game Mess Trivia Show, maybe I'll just call it Game Mess Trivia, and that rolls off the tongue. It's just gonna be a slightly different format, but we'll bring back the trivia show at some point in the future. I'm just working on it and figuring out what that looks like and making sure that it doesn't get released as something because we have to or anything like that. I know that Jeff still has it in the rundown because he hasn't removed it, but I want to make sure it's something that I want to do, that the guys want to do, and that the guests want to do, and that the audience will appreciate. So I've just been talking to people in the Discord, seeing what they would want, and then figuring out how we can make that work. But yeah, in some form, that will come back.
Dr. Ryan says, what should my 2000th milestone platinum be? Pirate Yakuza, Indiana Jones.
What? 2000?
Yeah, I just finished the thing where I figured out every game I'd beaten in. It was 930, and I felt pretty proud of that. But 2000 platinum, not games beaten, but platinumed. Okay, so yeah, Pirate Yakuza, Indiana Jones, Persona 3 Reload, or suggest something else. I mean, those Persona 3 Reload would be cool, man. I feel like it should be something funny. Balan Wonderworld should be your 2000 milestone.
Chad, stop! Chad saying hentai golf. Stop it.
Hentai golf! Is that on PlayStation?
No achievements. No, because only on the Switch. That's the only place it can live, you know?
Shit. Yeah. Shenmue 3. I don't know.
I don't think I played 2000 games.
If it's one of those options, Doc, Persona 3 Reload, if you haven't played it yet, that's a damn fine game. Like, that would take you a while to platinum, but that is a very, very good game.
That's not one of those cases where like you have to like beat the game like 8 times to platinum it because you're supposed to date every girl or something like that.
Yes. Well, I guess 3 still. Yeah. Well, no, they do have platonic relationships now.
That's right.
I think mathematically you can do it in one playthrough. So yeah, may check out a guide for that. I couldn't figure it out, and I know that game forwards and backwards. I could not get every trophy on my first playthrough. So, but it does have a new game plus where you can like breeze through cutscenes and stuff. So maybe it wouldn't be that bad.
Luis A. Garcia says, Crystal or Amy, Rose, and why?
What's this question?
I'm just gonna say this: Amy Rose was like a good character in Sonic CD, and then she was a bad character for a very long time until relatively recently when they dropped her whole kind of stalker, unrequited love with Sonic angle, right? So, yeah. Look, we don't have to answer their questions.
I had to look up Amy Rose.
I think you're asking, Crystal is 19, you pervert. Moving on.
Next up is from Mitchie Poo. Says, if you could use a time machine, would you rather have one that only goes back in time or only goes forward? I don't know if I want to see the future. I don't think there's anything. I don't know if there's anything there for me.
Man.
I don't know if there's anything there for me. Going back in time.
Only backwards.
Backwards would be fun. Yeah, I want to go backwards in time.
Take me back.
I'm going to go back and immediately find out if Jesus was real or not.
Was Jesus for shoot or not?
Everybody will be so excited and open to hear what I have to say, I bet. Like, all right, everybody, gotta figure it out. Hear my field trip report about the whole Jesus thing.
Look, he was a dude. I don't know what.
I'm not just finding out if he's a dude. I'm gonna be like, all right, here we are. Let's see this stone move. It's gonna be a real problem. Edgar Marino says, "How familiar are you guys with the Atelier series? Started watching a YouTuber named Backlog Battle who has me wanting to invest all my free time to JRPGs. Even as a JRPG fan, Atelier has always, for some reason, felt like a step too far. I don't know.
Yes.
Too far to what?
I don't know. Too far to something. It's just
that's a realm I don't want to enter.
It's just too far. It's just too
Mike's
far.
like, the thighs are too much. I just can't do it.
I'm not sure, but there's something there. I'm like, this. It seems too much. I don't know.
I want to check out because I want to know, like, why do they keep making these? What is this game? I know nothing about it, so I don't know. At some point, I might see what it's all about.
I do have a lot of questions. Like, yeah, what is this, and how do they keep making them?
My assumption is they're cheaper to do, and they should sell them to the same people all the time.
Probably.
Okay. Yeah. Michael Riley says, "Sup, dogs? Since Jeff is suffering from bullshititis, my question is for Sean. Were you born Turbo? Did you become Turbo through training? Was there a freak accident involved? Also, just kidding, Jeff. Hope you feel better. Faster than it takes you to beat Blues Brothers 2000.
Yes, I was born and it molded by it.
You just adopted the Turbo.
I did adopt it not too long ago, even probably just like 5 or 6 years ago. I started using this username. Yeah, I think it was like 5 years ago. Just because I was tired. I never really had a good username before. And so I was just like, what can I do that would be interesting? And I was like, you know what? Tasty Steve, Ultra David. We got a theme going here in the FGC. Turbo Sean. There we go.
Yeah.
I need a nickname.
Me and you are someone that we have like our handles still somewhat relevant as part of our online personalities, right? Yeah. Like I'll still, use Tolkoto for things.
Well, technically Jeff Grubb does as well.
Well, yeah, but like, his real old one, the Job or whatever, right? Not really.
Yeah,
Neo
Job one up.
We're not hearing about Crunch Bogus all the time anymore, right? These Jerf, I guess. Bogus. Jerf, huh? Yeah, Jerf still counts.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Jerf is just really good, though. Okay, and then starting to get to the bottom of this one. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, Turbo Sean question. Now that you're Jan's apprentice with video editing for Giant Bomb, have you learned anything cool from the Jerome? Like how to scare your neighbors during your smoke breaks or how to eat 9 hot dogs in a single setting?
Give me a second to think. You do your question.
Mike question. With Giant Bomb seemingly doing more collaborations with GameSpot, how will you supplant yourself as the main character of GameSpot after you have clearly established yourself as the main character of Giant Bomb? Gosh, yeah, how do I infiltrate GameSpot better? I got the Tam and Lucy angle, and I've been meeting some other people through these events. I just have to get on one. I have to get on one like straight up shoot GameSpot production, and then it just kind of takes care of itself, right? I'm like a disease. I just will start spreading, and they won't be able to contain me.
And for my question, I think I would say that I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't like in any way seem negative. I would say that me and Jan both have our own style of doing production work that both lead to the same results. So we kind of continue to do things our own way and sort of just learn like workflow stuff that makes things a bit easier. But Jan did have to teach me a million things to figure out how to use that damn CMS. And so if anyone ever wonders why is something broken on giantbomb.com, it's because it's a fucking rat's nest behind the scenes, y'all. And it's a miracle that Jan knows everything he does. I'm appreciative they taught me all that there is to know about that.
JD Camp says best JRPGs for people who don't care for JRPGs. Let's say still like a turn-based, relatively classic style of JRPG. Let's not just say like some action game.
Chrono Trigger.
I was gonna say Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is it has like the best things about JRPGs with the music and the fun stuff. The pacing is very good. It's just a lot happening. It's not that long. It's this beloved game that you'll probably kind of feel good about getting a chance to play. I think, yeah. If you're only ever gonna play one JRPG, it should be Chrono Trigger.
That's a good answer. I think the Final Fantasy Remake saga has been really good because it gives you all the beats of 7 while having, a much more action-oriented vibe to everything. And it feels modernized in so many ways. And this may seem antithetical to the question, but if you're down for anime, I would say like Atlas's stuff, like in general, both Persona and Metaphor, because despite their length overall, they are respectful of your time in terms of like how long you stay in a menu. So if you're down for story and you want to play traditional turn-based RPG, they're very good at just like getting you through the daunting menu stuff and to the rest of the story. But otherwise, for actiony stuff like Chrono Trigger, FSN Remake, that kind of stuff.
And Mario RPG? That kind of stuff?
Mario RPG.
Good call.
Of course. Yeah. Mario RPG.
Because that cuts all the bullshit. And it's like, some of those games in that like lineage too, like Mario and Luigi, they're like, 14 hours long. So there you go.
Right. Yeah. All of those. Not all of them. Like do Mario RPG, Paper Mario, or Thousand Year Door.
Is in the chat, and they say tried Persona and made it only like a dozen hours. Okay, so if you're not into that style stuff, then yeah, something like the Nintendo RPG stuff, like Mario and stuff, that seems like more your vibe.
Okay. Next up is Tuber says Mount Rushmore of user interfaces. Go. Okay, since I've been on my LucasArts adventure game kick again, that kind of classic point and click verb usage thing with the talk to, use, not the one in Maniac Mansion where they had too many of the verbs, but like circa Day of the Tentacle where they had it down pretty packed. I always find that very satisfying. Huh? Yep.
Okay.
Doom. Which one?
One. With Doom guy with the faces.
Yeah, that's great. Persona 5. Right?
I think it's quality. Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, with Mount Rushmore, I don't know. I'm thinking more like
that game...
Super Mario Brothers 1 or Mario 64.
Oh, I think you gotta do Persona 5. Like, that game was like... That was like one of the first time ever is like... One of the 4 UI talking points of how good a game was its UI, right?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sure.
You're not going to let me get away with Ridge Racer Type 4 for UI, are you?
Hell no.
Yeah, but it's so freaking
You're
good.
Pushing that LucasArts stuff, buddy.
Okay, Metal Gear Solid. That UI is great. Those kind of boxes and the way they cycle. That and like just the look of the codec calls. Come on, Metal Gear Solid.
The looking like an LCD watch, but a UI, that kind of thing. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Plus, that'll give me some points with Dan, who seems displeased with me this episode. So,
Chad is bringing up Dead Space. Also, I was thinking about Dead Space.
Very good.
Like the lack of UI.
Yeah, it's kind of a lack of UI.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
Dan gave me points in chat. Good. Okay, last one here. Excuse me. Banana Brain says, with Sean on this week, I wanted to ask if you guys were psyched for Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves. If you think the first season pass being included for free is good value, if you'd like for other franchises to do the same, I am excited. Gonna try that beta soon. Yeah, I like in the first season. Like I never even bought the first season for Street Fighter 6 because there wasn't much there. I probably would have bought the season anyways because it has Ken and Chun-Li, right? So that's awesome.
Oh yeah, for Fatal Fury. Yeah.
For Fatal Fury, and then Andy Bogart, some other things. So. Yeah, I don't mind, especially because it's not like, it's $90 to get it. It's just $60 and you get the first season with the game, right?
Yeah. Yes. I think this is a very good call for them to, just include it in. It's weird how they're doing it where it's like, it's just included in the base price of the game. It's not extra. It's $60, right? But they're like marketing it sort of like a season pass. It's like a free season pass, which... I guess that makes the marketing clear, at least, even if it's unorthodox. And yeah, it is kind of a neat thing. I think in the past, they've done it where if you buy within like the first month, you'll get it for free. I think that's what they did for KOF 14 and Sam Show, I want to say. I think that was also a good idea. But right. Yeah, just including it in the... And maybe that's what it'll be here too. Maybe they'll cut it off at some point because they are calling it like... it's like City of the Wolves, like limited edition or something like that, even though it's just the base price of the game. So maybe they'll like convert that into standard edition in the future and won't include it. But yeah, it's really good. And Mike, I don't know if we want to throw an extra break in here, but otherwise that would segue us into the end of the show and what I want to talk about.
Yeah, let's take one more little break because we're going to catch up on Super Chats, talk about what we've been playing. So yeah, we'll be right back, everybody.
All right, break. Yeah.
Right.
Fighting games are the most expensive games you can ever buy because they make you spend $30 every fucking years for like 4 characters.
And weak, pathetic. World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, Hearthstone.
You having an issue. You having an issue is not like it's not an argument here.
Most expensive game you can play.
You doing cocaine is not our fault.
All right, let's wrap this up.
All right, let's bring it
I gotta
back.
write my newsletter before it's midnight here.
Because
I forgot to do it earlier. All right. All right, we're back. Yeah, Sean, did you check out that City of the Wolves beta?
I did, yeah. I downloaded it earlier today. Didn't get very far. I did the tutorial and then played like 5 or so online matches. Which, speaking of, hey, the netcode seems pretty solid. It didn't smooth over an over 150 millisecond delay as much as I would like. Like the way Street Fighter 6 and Guilty Gear Strive can at least handle like 150 milliseconds ping. But like if it's 100 or lower, it felt solid. And it felt like your average rollback netcode game. So that was good. But the game itself, it's interesting because like you mentioned, you've been watching other people's videos talking about Fatal Fury and how back in the day, Garo, which is like, the lineage of this game, was sort of the response to Third Strike, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. And now we have it where City of the Wolves is sort of like the response to Street Fighter 6. And yeah, you can feel that. You can feel that when you actually play it. There's some Street Fighter 6 isms in there, even including, the simple control scheme, which is just a good idea in general. And most fighting games should have that nowadays, at least as an option. But yeah, it feels good. I'm not the biggest SNK fighting game person, but I'm trying to get into them. I played a little bit of KOF 15, really liked it. And I was like, you know what? City of the Wolves, this is where I get it. And to all the SNK stuff. I'm enjoying what I'm playing so far. I picked up B Jenny, my girl from back in the day. She's back. I love to see that. And I'm just having a good time. I don't really know what to say about it because it's like such a standard fighting game in the way that most people would expect. You have your special moves, you have your super moves, and like you have basically 4 specials to use and everything like that. It does really just play a lot like you expect a Street Fighter or a King of Fighters to play.
That's part of the appeal. I think. I bet. By the way, I just realized I put the hockey game on because I see it's tied going into overtime. Everybody probably heard the audio of it for a second. Sorry about that.
Hell yeah.
But that's part of the appeal, I think, is that it's that simplicity, right? There's something pure about these SNK fighting games. And, as much as I like Street Fighter 6, and I do a lot, part of me is like, well, I could go for something that has even fewer systems than that. Not that these games don't have systems. There's the whole revving up engine and SPGE and all of these things.
Yeah, and that's basically like the SPG is like sort of rage or guts or whatever you want to call it from other games where it's like, when you're at a certain health amount, you have access to more stuff. And the rev gauge is like Street Fighter 6's drive gauge. It's a lot of stuff that's just going on in fighting games right now. It's just SNK putting their own spin on it. But it's fun. I'm learning it. I wish there was a practice mode, but I get why there isn't an online test. I get it. But, I don't really know how to play a game, so I'm kind of just going casual matches and hitting buns and figuring stuff out. But so far, at least, it's fun.
Can you at least just play the CPU, or do you have to be playing people?
You have to be playing people, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's a little rough.
Yeah. But hey, we can get a lobby going or something after this.
Okay, maybe we'll do that. Cool. Anything else that you want to talk about?
Yeah, one more. I'll try to keep it quick because we're running long. But I have been doing my punishment, Mike, that you handed down after you got first place in Bowser's Hurry over on Giant Bomb. And mine was that you had me play Wario World. And I people can see on the video version, I got my old childhood CRT set up once again, and I have a modded Wii that I've been playing it. So, real hardware on a shoot CRT.
Nice.
And it's been a blast. That's what Treasure made that, right?
It's Treasure, which is like, again, it's real weird that Treasure made this game.
you can feel the arcadiness of it. You can feel the Wario landness of it. And I love it because it feels much like, you know, how Mario has the land and the world, and they translate the formulas pretty well between the two. Yeah, they translated the 2D Wario land formula into 3D in a way that makes sense. You know, it's Wario, so, you know, it's more of a beat 'em up than it is a platformer, a little more puzzle platforming stuff. And it's very fun, including the fact that it was sort of Mario 3D Land before Mario 3D Land,
a little bit,
which is wild. Yeah, like you, to get the collectibles throughout every stage, you go to these separate little like diorama areas where you like have to adjust the camera to see some perspective tricks and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a very interesting game. It feels good to play. You know, the dash and jump is very satisfying.
I love that tackle. That tackle feels so good in this one.
Yeah, being able to do the spinning attack, you grab someone and spin them around to like knock out other enemies.
The pile driver is amazing. It feels
pile driver, good. Yeah, them into the ground, and there's all like puzzle solving stuff associated with all that too. It's a good game. Like I see why some people may not have loved it because some things do grate on me a little bit. Like some of the challenge levels, the jumping just feels weird because of the way like Wario lands on ledges. You can land on a ledge and like slide off a ledge, like when you clearly land on. There's small stuff like that I see would have bugged people back in the day. But yeah, I'm really digging it. I'm about halfway through, and yeah, it's just my like before dinner, I'll spend like half an hour playing through a level, and it's been a good time.
That's great. Yeah, I've always thought it was underappreciated because I didn't play it till recently, and you know I just never hear anybody have much enthusiasm for it, which always felt weird to me. I'm like, you know, they made a 3D Wario game and it was treasure. You think there'd be some noise for this thing, and there's just not much. And
no,
yeah,
and they advertised it a good amount back in the day. You remember those like pamphlets you would get from Kmart or whatever that says like, you know, GameCube games out this summer. I would see Wario World in there. I'm like, this looks kind of neat. I want to try that. And I just never did until now.
Because the GameCube did fall off pretty hard there once they realized it wasn't selling great. 2003. It's not that. It's relatively early in the system. So. Yeah, I know
it's like midway. They cut that one off pretty quick. So yeah, it's midway.
They it definitely got dinged a lot from the press for being short. But again, these days, who cares if it's short? It's almost a benefit.
Is it though? Isn't the
well, everybody? That's what everybody complained about. Yeah, that's what everyone complains about is how short the game is, and I mean,
there's not a lot of levels, but one of my complaints with it, I would actually say, is that the levels themselves are decently long. They're like half an hour each. That's why I only get one level done tonight.
Yeah, like how long to beat says main story, maybe 6 hours. That may be a little short to me, but sure. It's whatever. All right. Gosh, as for me, it's just been a lot more of a Avowed, and I just keep having more and more fun with it. I found a legendary pistol, so I'm doing a dual pistol build. I find that very satisfying in the game because you don't have ammo. They just compensate instead that it's a relatively long reload time for the pistols. But if you have, you reload after every shot because they're like, blunderbusses. But because you kind of cycle thoughtfully, you still have a pretty good rhythm to it, and you just kind of output this pretty nice consistent damage. I just like the way it feels, just kind of going in there blasting and using the cooldowns to sort of keep enemies in place or do extra damage and dodging, and the combat just continues to feel really, really good in this game. I understand that's not doing as much as a Skyrim in terms of the system or even the scale, but like losing some of that stuff and making the combat feel this much better, I think is a worthy trade-off for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I like that super chat or mailbag that we had earlier. Yeah, Avowed being maybe a little smaller in scale has been a good thing for the game overall because it meant that it could be more focused. And like Jeff said on socials and stuff, like it feels very human. It feels like people took their time creating a thing for you. Maybe there's not as much content as you want, but overall it's like a very well-made game.
All right. I think we just got one more super chat here from Grubb that says, "Why does Jan not give out podcast points anymore?" Not every bit can last forever. Why? Well, what would you have some inside information? What's up?
Because of what you did.
Oh, because I co-opted it.
No. You, listener, you know what you did.
I thought it was about me.
Mike, you're fine. You're fine. I'm calling them out. They know what they do. Did. Okay.
Shit.
They know.
Damn it.
It's between them and Jan.
Grubb ruined podcast points for all of us, apparently. Damn, Grubb. You think Jan remembers? Do you think he intentionally was like, I'm done with this bit?
Just forgot.
You think he just kind of forgot that it was a bit for a while there? Yeah.
Jade has a lot to do if you didn't know.
Yeah,
maybe
she keep track of podcast points.
Maybe he just ran out of points to give out. He needs to like refill
That's
them
right.
or something.
Yeah, it's not like the house points from Hogwarts. It's not just an infinite amount of them. There's only so many. Yep.
Yes, Luis Garcia was the Crystal Amy thing. You know you did.
There you go. All right. I think we did a podcast there. How about that?
We did something for 2 hours.
We did something. I'm going to start playing us out because this one actually lasts for a while.
Okay.
Sean, thank you so much for helping out here and filling in for our sicky boy, Jeff Grubb.
And of course, it's always a fun time. And yeah, don't worry, everybody. I'm not permanent. Jeff will be back next week, presumably.
Jeff will be back. You can't get rid of
Can we change
Grubb.
that?
We change? No. I'll tell you what. I'll be out next week. Grubb, you get Grubb and Sean. We'll see. No, I'll probably be here. What's going on, Giant Bomb tomorrow? I don't think I even know.
We're doing some stuff. We're trying some stuff. People noticed today, Jeff was playing Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I think I got that right. With Tom from the GameSpot team today. And yeah, we're just doing a little bit more of that. As people know, Giant Bomb and GameSpot, hey, owned by the same company. What if we actually started working like one team, like we have been behind the scenes? We're doing a little bit more of that. So I think we might have another stream of that tomorrow. In addition to, if he's feeling better, probably doing Game S mornings in the morning and stuff.
All right. I'll keep an eye out for all of that. You have any weekend plans lined up here?
Playing some games, that game and the other game. Yeah, probably playing some games.
Gotcha. I got my brother's birthday on Saturday, so we're going out to a local brewery on that day.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Oh, hey.
Burger King again?
Oh, God, Burger King was rough. Not doing that. Check out the new 90s Disney where we rank the World Showcase pavilions in Epcot. It was fun. Things got heated for a bit there in a fun way, but we were getting passionate about this stuff. It was pretty fun. We were giggling like idiots by the end. So,
yeah.
So
Grubb Fandango is up.
Grubb Fandango,
all the streams.
All three parts of that is.
He's been having a fun time with his punishment.
Yep, absolutely. And then hopefully he'll stream again this weekend. He's been pretty consistent, streaming at least once a day during the weekend. So, he can work through that. I'll probably be streaming. Maybe tomorrow since I'm going on Saturday. Maybe I'll do my Day of the Tentacle thing tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody.
TV/Telcode. Go watch Mikey.
Bye. I beat it.
Oh, you beat it. I have to poop.